Thank you, everybody, for your patience. It's 6:15. This is the Manhattan Community Board One full board meeting for the month of September. I'm Tammy Meltzer, Chair. We are delighted to have quorum in the room, and Brendan's going to be our secretary and co-secretary today. So he's dual timing for two people. So please be patient, please be kind. He's going to do roll call. Please pay attention. Even more so for the people who are online. It is extraordinarily difficult for them to hear when it's crosstalk. That applies for everybody on the side and everybody at the table. And please keep the crosstalk down. And to start our meeting, we will welcome the fantastic Manhattan President.
Oh my God. I hear applause echoing throughout the building so far in this meeting. You guys are having fun? You know, other community boards do not serve pizza. CB1, you know how to do it.
Don't tell them.
It's great to see all of you. So late breaking news that affects Manhattan more broadly, though not specifically Lower Manhattan, casinos. We had 3 bids that made it to the finish line in Manhattan. And based on great work and a lot of consultation with your colleagues at CBs 4, 5, and 6, my appointees voted to not approve any of the 3. So there will not be a casino in Manhattan. All right, you can apply for that. Definitely heard about concerns with congestion, and traffic, and public safety, and gambling addiction, and more. We got enough challenges on those fronts.
Lucy Mojica Diaz.
Yes.
Is the one who led the charge against the one on Coney Island. She is the no Coney back there.
Oh, wow, okay. Hi, Lucy. Yeah. I think we connected, as I was gallivanting around Brooklyn for extracurricular activity. On a tougher note, I want to talk about some of the assaults on New York City's budget from the federal government. We just had $15 million taken from public schools in New York City because the Trump administration put a poison pill into a funding stream for magnet schools. They told us that unless we canceled our current policy that respects all students, including trans kids, we would no longer receive this money. This, by the way, is already enshrined in state law. So this was not really a matter of restriction, although I'm very proud that the city's schools chancellor stood up and said pretty strongly that she would back up this policy. And we stood firm and we lost that money. This is just a little preview of what's coming from an administration that attempted to wage a culture war in an absolutely unrelated funding stream. What does it have to do with magnet schools? Why that stream? Why now? Why New York City? Why only New York City and 2 other blue cities? We've already lost $100 million from the city's health department. Federal funds cut. We've lost over $100 million to the NYPD particularly for anti-terror work. So they have literally defunded the police, despite their rhetoric to the contrary. And yesterday, President Trump said that based on the results of the mayoral election, he would, and I quote, cut all funding to New York City. I'm certain it's a violation of various federal laws, and we'll go to court. And Chris James will lead the charge there, and she has an outstanding record at beating back a lot of these attacks so far. But I want to remind everybody that New York City is an economic engine for the country. We're a $1 trillion economy. We send billions more to Washington in the form of taxes than we get back. Unlike the red states, which are relying on us, they receive far, far more from the federal government than they send. We are a donor state. We're subsidizing the rest of the country. The president acts as if this is some sort of gift, welfare for New York. No, we are a donor state, and it's outrageous that he is playing politics with our funding. I want to mention on a related matter, what's happening with public health right now and the undermining of confidence in vaccination for measles, for COVID. We have measles cases in New York. Did you know this? Yes, we do. Anyone know how many measles cases we've had so far in New York City? We've had 16 this year so far. So, we're not immune. Thank goodness we do have high vaccination rate, but there were 2 adult cases in Lower Manhattan in the last couple of weeks. I think not in CB1, I think just north, I think it was CB2 and 3, if I'm not mistaken. Now, again, we have fairly high, over 90% vaccination rate. We have what's considered herd immunity in New York. But there are pockets of vaccine resistance here, including in Manhattan, on left and right, fortunately bipartisan. And I worry about the messaging coming out of Washington. Same with childhood vaccination. We've seen some dip since COVID in the number of 2-year-olds who have their first MMR vaccine. Worried about that. Want to make sure we don't slide backwards. And of course, there's the COVID vaccine, which we have the updated booster is now available. And despite the fact that the Secretary of Health attempted to block our access here, the Governor Hochul, has now put in a new paradigm where recommendations for vaccination in New York are based on a collaboration we have with some other northeastern states. And they have recommended the COVID booster in New York, and now all pharmacies are offering it, and most insurance is covering it free of charge. So for age 6 and over, without a prescription, you can go into a pharmacy in New York, and most insurance will cover it. So I hope that you guys, you've always been great on public health. I hope you use your platform as people that folks downtown trust to spread the word that vaccination remains safe and effective, and that in Lower Manhattan, you can go to pharmacies and get your flu vaccine and your COVID booster. And in most cases, it'll be free with your insurance. A little closer to home, you guys have been leading on ferries. Thank you for that. I know your head is very much in the ferry redesign. Pretty cool that we have the first hybrid electric ferry now going to Governor's Island. That's here, CB1. I know you are worried, and I share your concern about making sure we don't disrupt the schedule to Governor's Island. We have a wonderful high school there. We don't want the Harbor School kids to lose easy access. So we're going to be monitoring that with you. I know you're worried about that, and I know you're all also worried about Canal Street. That's in CB1, right?
Yeah.
Okay. We had 2 horrible deaths over the summer. This has been a dangerous stretch of roadway for a long time. Clearly, it's crying out for upgrades and improvements. And I know you've been calling for it. We've been calling for it. And DOT is now putting in a redesign plan in place, which I'm very excited about. Lastly, I'll mention, we share your concern about the publicly operated private space at 77 Water Street.
Yes.
And my office signed the letter that you sent to, I think, was it to city planning or to the mayor? So, what's that?
Buildings and city plan.
Okay, DOB and city planning. So we're with you in that fight. We want pops of underperform downtown, and we want to make sure that they are well maintained and accessible as they are intended to be. So I think I'm going to pause there. I don't know if there's time, if you'd like to open up for any questions. I'm happy to.
I will also tell you that tonight we have a resolution before the board, because what we also recognize for public access agreements, for example, things like the Battery Maritime Building, Pier 17, the public doesn't always know that they have the ability to walk into a building. So our resolution tonight calls on City Hall and EDC to have much like we do at a POPS, to have public signage available for the public so they know, and a way that the public can then report when it's not available, instead of having to email the community board, who then sends it to EDC, who then talks to the operator. It just doesn't seem, we're not 311. They should be able to report and then we respond. And so there's a tracking method to understand if they're basically compliant with the deals that they've made for the benefit.
And you guys kicked this advocacy push off here in CB1. Well done. Sign me up.
All right. So who has questions for our borough president today? It's unusual that there
Very thorough presentation.
It's also overwhelming.
All good, all good. Thank you, CB1, for being a great board. Thank you for leading on so much else. Thank you for making your home here on the 19th floor.
Thank you.
Enjoy the rest of your meeting. Thanks, guys. Bye-bye.
Well, that worked awesome. Thank you very much. To our borough president. I need to double check on the spreadsheet, which is when, we don't have any signups for the public session, and I think it might be my spreadsheet, not the truth. So I'm gonna ask for a show of hands in the room. Did anyone who is here from the public sign up for the public session that I have not seen online because they signed in?
It's yours for that.
Did you refresh?
I did.
It's just two for the journey.
Okay. Wow. Right? But that's everybody. So. This is the speaker on. So I wish to speak during the public session. Fantastic. Okay, so we're gonna call on Vicky, who wants to talk during the public session. Yes?
No.
No, that was not you. All right, let me.
This week.
It's refreshing as we're going. Susan, fantastic.
What did I want to say?
It's a good one.
No, I said it already.
About Brooklyn.
I said it about Lucy. It's fine.
Okay. So I actually don't have anybody signed up for the public session. This is gonna be a calling once, calling twice. Closing the public session.
Yes.
At 6:27. So we have a public hearing, which is the next part, which is about city input for capital budget priorities. Is there anybody from the public who has signed up or would like to speak in regards to the budget? Seeing and hearing none, and I see none online. Do you see any others? I see no hands online. I see no one else online. Please note that if you are online, you must sign in, obviously, and then use the function to raise your hand. This would be your last opportunity to speak during the public hearing or public session. Okay, hearing and seeing no hands, either in the room or online, we're gonna close the public hearing at 6:28 and start the business session. All right.
So I don't have time.
Yeah, don't worry. We'll get going. Okay, so let's get the slides up and let's get rolling. Fantastic.
No. Oh. Oh.
Oh, wait a minute. We're gonna start the business session with our elected representatives who are here with us. I got so overwhelmed by the people. So we're gonna go in order, and just because I'm not trusting my technology, I'm just gonna start and go backwards. Do we have anybody here from Representative Goldman's office? Seeing not here nor online, we'll welcome Dan for Senator Kavanaugh's office. Dan?
Hey, everybody. Hi, you're new here, welcome. This is,
You get 2 minutes? He gets 4.
I get 4, really special, but you guys have crazy momentum tonight, and I will not ruin that. It's going so well. So, just really quick, in our office has been doing some flu clinic stuff. We did a flu clinic, with New York Presby and Assemblymember Lee, the Congressman Goldman, and, Councilmember Marte on Grand Street earlier this month, on September 23rd. We're having one on October 9th from 8 to 11 at the Vision Urbana Health Center. We're working with Vision Urbana and Betances Health Center and the Alfred E. Smith houses to do a flu clinic. That's 60 Madison Street, and I'll be sending this out to our office will be. And then we're also gonna do one at Meltzer Towers,
No relation.
yeah, on October 17th from 12 to 3 with Ryan Nana, Congressman Goldman, Assemblymember Lee, and Council District 2. We're also going to be doing an office hours. We kind of tagged on to Assembly Member Lee's office hours at Masaryk Towers tomorrow from 4 to 6, and I'll be doing constituent intake. So if people have issues that we might be able to help, they can come and talk to us. I want to start doing more of those and more of those in CB1. We've done some in CB3 and CB2, but I want to bring some to here too. So I'll keep on the outlook for that. The last thing that I wanted to mention is we're doing an insurance investigation and hearing. Our office is co-convening an investigation of residential property insurance statewide with Senator Skoufis and Senator Bailey, who are respectively the chairs of the Senate Committee of Investigations and Government Operations and the chair of Committee on Insurance. We began our investigation with document requests from insurance carriers and industries across the state, and are continuing conversations with different stakeholders. The investigation seeks to identify the causes of reported increases in premiums and other obstacles to ensuring new and existing single and multifamily affordable and market rate homes, including those occupied by homeowners and renters, and to identify legislation and policy changes that New York State should implement. The chairs anticipate that the investigation will continue through the fall, culminating in a joint hearing later this year, likely in November. So I'll leave it there, and I guess also I would be remiss to not mention construction staging has started in Battery Park City. It's something that's very much on our radar and something that we're taking really seriously to try to resolve and be creative in ways to, you know, open up a dialogue with the Battery Park City Authority and make sure that we're making good progress with that. I mean, I'm sure that it'll come up a lot, so stay tuned for that. Otherwise, I think that I'll continue with the quick night.
Love that.
Thank
Does
you.
anybody have any question for Senator Kavanaugh's team?
A special night.
Oh, man. I think I saw somebody from Assemblymember Lee's office come in. Aha,
Yeah.
welcome.
Hi, everyone. Thank you. My name is Hayden. Of course, I work for Assemblymember Lee. I will not rock the boat tonight. We'll keep it going quick. Fortunately, Dan already mentioned a lot of the recent event updates on the DF. Oh, no, it's perfect. Keeps it going. So recently, we've been doing a lot of those mobile office hours, and as Dan said, our next one will be tomorrow at 6 p.m. So if you're interested in stopping by, please do, or spread the word. We'd love to get as many constituents there as we could. We also recently collaborated with Grand Street Settlement to co-host a free flu vaccination distribution event. And we also, with Grand Street Settlement, sponsored a backpacking school supplies distribution. We've handed out over 1,000 backpacks and school supply sets to children around the district, so we're really excited to do that. We also joined the Chinatown YMCA for National Voter Registration Day and got several constituents to register to vote. And then we presented a $15,000 check of state funding to the Sophie Garrison Healthy Youth group as they went towards their summer camp. So we're really proud to support them with that state funding. And then let's see, at Seward Park Extension, we were able to work with the president, the Attendant Association President, Deborah Gibbons, to conduct a corridor cleaning and exterior wall repairs that their residents have been asking for a long time. We're really proud to be able to get that done. And then finally, one last thing. And then, yes, as I think Dan mentioned, on October 17th, we're going to join Ryan Health for another flu vaccine clinic at Meltzer Towers from 12 to 3. So yeah, some recent exciting events, a couple more coming up. Any questions, please feel free to ask. Thanks, everyone.
All right. Rockin'. All right. Do we have anybody here from Assemblymember Lee's, Assemblymember Glick's office or Assemblymember Falls?
I'm here from Assemblymeber's office. Hi, everyone. Good evening.
Introduce yourself, please.
I'm Lane. Nice to meet you all. I'm the community liaison for Assemblymember Glick. Some just events I wanted to highlight that we're holding in the district. So Assemblymember Glick next week on Wednesday, October 8th is having a shred event. So if you have some papers or documents you want to shred, That will be taking place from 9 to 12 p.m., 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. On the northeast corner of Washington Market. So we'll send that information out, so you'll get it. We will be having a event October 16th at 6 p.m. with Manhattan Lean about community preparedness during emergencies. So we'll have some speakers, someone from New York City Emergency Management. We'll be having someone from the Red Cross there. There'll be a way to just gather as a community to talk about emergency preparedness. So we'll send that information out as well. And I think Bob Townley will likely disseminate information. But emergencies like hurricanes, floods, things that have been kind of affecting our communities more and more as time goes by. And then lastly, our office just wanted to make sure everyone was aware of the ballot proposals and reading up on them leading up to the election day in November. There's 6 ballot proposals from the commission, and so we have them in the board report, but just wanting to put that on everyone's awareness. But yeah, thanks so much. Any questions?
John, you go first.
Number one, if you could let me know, my name is John Scott, I'm on the Tenant Association, that we can, give some publicity to the shredding. How your outreach. Number two, to let everybody know, the scree dree, wasn't, passed this, year. As you know, I've been fighting for it for a few years. I got off the phone with Kavanaugh 2 days ago, and he said the Senate passed it and the Assembly didn't. He gave some excuses like the city is giving some pushback, it could cost too much money. It's a little distressing, for me who works with seniors, because we want to keep them in their homes. And we've had this bill. It's a no-brainer. It raises the limit for their income to go from 50 to 67. And then they'll stay in their homes because, just to give you a guide, this is for the whole city. This isn't just for Independence Plaza. But in Independence Plaza, we have people paying $2,000 rent. And so 50 doesn't, make it. They're get overqualified because of their rent is high. So I would ask that you continually to push our assembly member and let her know that, we're very disappointed it didn't get passed. And we'd like to see it passed in the early part of next year.
Yeah, no, thank you for your comment, and we even spoke about it today, and it's high on her legislative priorities for that coming session, so I'll relay your comment back, and I appreciate, your feedback.
Thank you.
Hi.
Hi, Jimmy.
So I read in today's news that there's actually a lawsuit that was filed by city council members against the ballot initiative. So I'm curious as to whether or not that will change anything, if you know of anything about this. I know there's a statewide ballot initiative, which is separate from the city council ballot initiatives, which according to what I read in the report, they're saying that the public was denied an opportunity, there was no environmental impact done, so they don't want it actually put on the ballot yet. But I don't think that affects the statewide ballot initiative, and there's one of those.
Yeah.
Do you know anything? Sorry, I know, it's like, oh, it happened today.
To me, but I will get back to you on the differentiation between the state initiative and the city initiative. And, I haven't heard this news yet, so, that's very helpful to have on our radar, and I will let you know, what happens.
And then for all of our electeds, when you're doing a social media push, help the board, help you, just tag us. We're on Facebook, we're on Twitter, and we're looking for, we may have an intern who will evaluate our communications at some point in the next year, but until that point, if you can just tag Manhattan Community One, then anybody who follows us, then we'll get it.
Okay, perfect, yeah.
Are we on threads?
I don't think so. Not yet, I think is the answer.
I'm good.
Well,
You want to be our threads guy?
there you go. No. All right, so thank you very, very much. And then we have a fresh face from Assemblymember Falls. Please step forward and introduce yourself.
Good morning, or good evening, everyone, I'm sorry. My name's Regan, I'm representing on behalf of Assemblymember Charles Fall. I don't have anything to present to you guys today, this is my first time here. But if you guys have any questions or comments that you'd like me to relay back to him, I would be more than happy to do that.
Anybody have anything for Assemblymember Fall? I will say Assemblymember Fall does his pop-ups in the local area.
Just me.
Oh, Justina's hand up.
I do, sorry,
Hold
but
on.
can finish your sentence, Tammy.
When Assemblymember Fall chooses to do pop-ups, it would be great if he notified CV1 and we'd be happy to share the information out. We found out, I think, a little bit late at places that he was gonna be and nobody really knew, so we wouldn't want him to feel diminished in the neighborhood. We'd like to be able to have lots of neighbors come find out. Justine?
So much. Nice to meet you, and want to just reiterate what John said about Scree and Dree and having it not gotten out of the assembly. That Assemblymember Fall can actually, was another person, as well as Assemblymember Grace Lee and Deborah Glick too, could be pushing that forward, along with the Battery Park City bills for the affordable freezing of ground rent for folks who make under 130 or 150% of AMI, which both the Scree and Dree and that Battery Park City bill passed the Senate, but have never gotten out of committee in the Assembly, and really would like to have that move forward this legislative session. Thank you.
Thank you.
Anybody else? Okay, fantastic. I think we'll move right along, and I believe from the mayor's office, we have Christian Williams. Christian, I think, on the line. I know he signed in. You take a look at the attendees, maybe he's stuck down there. Jasper's here yet, is he? Welcome. So an update for the board who does not know this yet. Robin Force, who has been our CAU liaison for quite some time now, is moved to a different division of the city hall and the mayor's office. So Jasper is our new freshman. Welcome.
My name is Jasper. I'm in the Mayor's Office of Community Affairs. I previously worked with the Office of Intergovernmental Affairs for 3 years and 9 months, where I lobbied on the mayor's legislative for policy priorities. I am a resident of Lower Manhattan, and I'm here in case there's anything that I could be assistance of the city. So I look forward to listening to the concerns that you have and also being of assistance. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Welcome, Jasper. Thank you. Next time, do me a favor, make sure you sign in with your name, not Christian's, because then I'm just looking for Christian.
Absolutely.
Yes, and Richard Corman.
Well, this is actually for Assemblymember Charles Fall. I think it's good to point out that the Assemblymember has been promoted to Assistant Majority Leader. And I think that bodes well for hopefully our impact in the Assembly. Also, congratulations to the Assembly.
Right, if we have no questions for Jasper is new and nothing else, then Max, you're taking us on with our last elected in the room. I don't think, is there anybody here from the Public Advocate's Office before I say that? No, fantastic, you're up.
All right, hi everyone, I'm Max Deutsch from Councilmember Marte's office. So to start, legislation, you might have seen in the past couple months, we've had a kind of worrying a number of incidents regarding Central Park carriage horses. Again, another horse lady died. We've had multiple instances of horses running wild, again, almost, hitting people. And so Councilmember Marte has been one of the most vocal members in the council, rallying with animal rights advocates for the passage of Rider's Law to finally ban the use of horse carriages in Central Park. I think he's been at 4 rallies in the past month about this, kind of been meeting with the animal rights advocates and their leadership. And again, even Mayor Adams supports the bill, so we're really trying to push the Speaker, Adrian Adams, to allow the bill to move forward. And kind of similarly to that, part of the problem is that there's no committee dedicated to animal issues in the city council. All animal issues are sent to the health committee, which has had 1 hearing in 4 years on animal rights issues. And so Councilmember has been meeting with his colleagues, pushing in the council to create specifically an animal welfare committee. So all these issues, all the legislation around animals can actually be heard and discussed in an effective way. And then kind of, I think as Lane brought up, right, the Charter Revision Commission, the commission finalized their proposed changes to the charter in July, which have then been adopted by the Board of Elections. And so 3 of these proposals seek to erode the council's authority over land use and by creating loopholes for many new projects to either skip a council vote or avoid a public process altogether. And so the council member is strongly opposed to these ballot proposals, and we will be circulating a memo to the various community boards shortly once we have that finished. And then a few community updates. You might have seen that a month ago, Councilmember Marte sent a letter to the DOT demanding they begin their study of FIDOT pedestrianization. So for some context, I think back in 2016 or 2017, the previous council member gave the DOT $500,000 to study pedestrianizing FIDOT. And it's been almost 10 years and they have not began this study. They've come to our office, they've come to the community board many times, tell us the study's gonna start in a few months. And we've been hearing that for 4 years. And so we wrote a letter, the council member had a video that went viral about it. And so we're waiting for a response from the DOT on this. And as soon as we get that, we'll be sharing that with the community board. And then, yeah, similarly, as been mentioned, right, the DOT has finally started the redesign of Canal Street as well. This is something that, I think all the elected officials and community have been advocating for and asking for a really long time. And so we've been sitting in all the briefings, meeting with DOT. And again, the public engagement process has already started and there's some flyers I see for it over there. And I think they should be coming to the community board in the next, I think in November, I might be wrong on that. And then the plan is for the work to start in July as the public engagement process continues. And our office will be meeting with stakeholders, community members to hear their concerns. And again, if anyone has concerns or thoughts on the redesign, reach out to me and again, we can set up time to talk about that. Washington Market Park has finally reopened. Councilmember Marte allocated around $200,000 to fix the pathways, repair benches, repair the gazebos, improve drainage. And so that's finally reopened. And we've actually just, for the next fiscal year, just allocated another $200,000 for playgrounds and play spaces in the park. And so we expect that work to be done next year as well. And then lastly, this Saturday, the 4th, at 6:30 p.m., the council member is sponsoring a movie night in Seward Park on Essex and Canal and Essex and East Broadway. And we'll be showing a Rogue One, a Star Wars story. So if anyone saw Andor, which is my favorite show of the year, you should check out this movie. Again, family-friendly movie, should be a really fun time. And with that, I'll take any questions.
Right, exactly. 15 seconds left.
Well, I would actually, it's not a question, it's just gonna be a comment. Community Board 2, the chair reached out. We've been having some conversations, between the chairs of 1, 2, and 3 about Canal and thought that it would be really productive to host a public hearing with 1 and 2 and 1 and 3 to try and, because we kind of broached the whole thing and having something that's joint so we can hear not only in our own tunnel of noise, but hear from the neighbors who are literally on the other side of the street. So to be able to do a separate joint meeting as a hearing, we're trying to have a discussion, so.
Yeah.
we're gonna-
I like that, say this one.
Yeah, that would be awesome, so some help with. Christine?
I just watched Andor. And I just, and Rogue One.
So you want to see it again?
Yeah, I got it. So my question is, do you have an update yet on what's going on in the battery?
Yeah, so
I know we have a sign up, which is
Yeah.
nice, and
again, we were trying to move the bill forward, but again, it's the way the speaker is currently running, not even the committee chairs have say over what bills get a hearing anymore. It's really, and again, I don't want to get too much, there was just a whole controversy over the speaker trying to take even more control over the committees, which failed. But yeah, again, we're just currently with this speaker. Again, she is the one and only person who is deciding what bill can be hearing and what doesn't.
Yeah, so I'm gonna chase that back with, we have 2 bills that we're fighting for from CB1. One is obviously with Council Member Marte and Council Member Powers on the ticket hawkers. Crazy, right? The second one is with Council Member Marte and Julie Menon and a Brooklyn council member about distancing of cannabis stores from public youth facilities.
Yep.
Because nobody wants a cannabis store parked next to a children's playground or a local kids community center. So those are two things that Community Board One has passed resolutions on. We've been chasing and chasing and chasing. We just haven't seen any action from the speaker to put that on a calendar. So I'm putting it out there. So if you talk to anybody and any of your troubles and travels and trials, for everybody who's very active in the community, you find an elected official and another city council member, please say something for those two bills.
Actually, one more thing I can say on the battery vending, because at the First Precinct Community Council on Thursday, a lot of representatives from Big City Tourism came because they wanted to talk to community members to hear the concerns and kind of talk it out with the precinct, and there wasn't really anyone from the community there, so it was kind of hard to.
Know about it.
Yeah, so I think and again, they didn't tell me when they were coming. They just kind of- The First Precinct Community Council, I think, for the next month, they do it, it's the last Thursday of every month generally. I think it should be good right now, we can talk about it later, but I think if we can get everyone back in that room again, it could be helpful to kind of talk some things out.
Can where do we go to, because I'm on your mailing list.
Yeah.
I know I'm on ours. How
Let's
can
check it out.
Lucy can wait.
Council
Yeah.
board member here.
And there we go.
Yeah, I'm also on the board for the community council there, so yeah, Max is exactly right, last Thursday of each month, I believe at 6 o'clock. Then in October, it'll be on the 30th, it's at the First Precinct at 16 Erickson. That Big City Tourism, they did say that they're gonna start coming to every meeting. They said that they were like, oh, we keep hearing that people are having problems, but no one's here, so we're gonna keep coming and we'll see if people are really there to voice their concerns. So take that as an invitation.
I would be overjoyed to be there. I would buy everyone dinner, all right? So I just need an invite, I just need to know when.
It's a
Yeah,
public meeting and we'll connect you.
Thank you,
Go ahead.
thank you.
An agenda that's sent out before those meetings.
They don't have an agenda that way,
Too bad, because, they have the meeting set up, they have an agenda.
and they're always in person only.
Yeah, it'd be nice just to have that circulated to remind people. Yeah.
I'm starting to take better minutes for those things and then work on a system to make sure that those are dispersed, more timely and efficiently for the community. So hopefully that should help kind of establish what is being spoken about and hopefully inspire others to see what they need, what they're more comfortable speaking on too.
Okay.
So that's.
Next, Jack?
Yeah, I just wanted to add that Big City came to the Battery Park City Committee meeting in September as well. Also unannounced before, but we thought it was a good opportunity to let them speak. They portray themselves as the good guys among all of these heathens out there, and I don't have any reason to doubt them, but they certainly said they are willing to work on the problem. I gather that there's a million different vendors besides them that have the ticket hawkers down in the Battery. We urged them to support the legislation in the city council, and I don't think they were familiar with it, but they said they would.
Yeah, we're working on scheduling the meeting with them.
They know, because we've spoken with them about it before. They are also a, contractor with the same third-party ticket vendors as all the others. So it's lovely that I'm sure they run a fantastic tour and a great business.
So I'm just
But
saying
they
that
also employ the third party.
yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
To some extent, they're in an ecosystem that they did not create, and they on their own would have a hard time changing the ecosystem. And so if they can be persuaded to sign on to the legislation, I think that would be helpful.
That'd be awesome. Anybody else have anything else for Matt? Oh, yes, great. Jared and then Morton.
Max, I know we spoke about this offline as well, but for the sake of the room, and we're gonna be talking about Canal Street a lot more in the coming weeks and months. Some of the early feedback that I thought was worth sharing is that there's a definite desire to see a more transformative plan, especially on the western flank of Canal, especially the Hudson Canal intersection, which isn't really addressed and is not really in coordination with the Port Authority, which seems like a necessary step. And the only other comment is that all the posters for the feedback sessions, the fact that there's something actually going on there, on Canal itself, but not north or south in either direction. And there are plenty of people who traverse that on a daily basis who have no idea that this is. So
Good point, yeah. So I'll take that back to the OC.
All right, Morton.
Yes, I just want to mention, I'm sure Chris is, and a lot of people are aware, you know, the opening of the shelter next to the Peck Slip School was enjoined by the court at the end of last month. Judge Ungaron, who ironically was the judge who presided over the Trump trial. I think that, you know, Chris was a big advocate on behalf of the community on that, and I think a lot of the facts that we developed in calling here at the community board and calling the mayor's office and the city agencies before the community board were folded into the lawsuit and played a large role in this result. And whether the shelter ever opens under these circumstances, it's hard to say, but as of now, I checked the docket, I don't see any appeal has been filed, and even a notice of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I just want to bring that to everybody's attention.
Since we haven't, just so you know, since we haven't taken the minutes and voted on it, which I did by choice because the public session was so public, or anybody who's gonna argue with me, we're in business session, the public isn't supposed to speak. I didn't take the roll call on the minutes specifically to allow the public. Sir,
This is my
Please
first meeting,
identify-
so if it's not appropriate, I could say that.
that's okay, stand up, identify yourself, please, and welcome.
Hi, my name is Jordan Cooper. This is my first meeting. I don't mean to disrupt the flow. Just on the Canal Street project, something I've been wondering, obviously, there's this like amazing physical transformation that's being contemplated. And I was curious if there's discussion around the street commerce associated with that transformation and how those two things interact and what a plan would be there.
Yeah, no, definitely. So I assume you're referring to all the, like, the counterfeit vending along Canal Street. Yeah, so that's been, again, also if you come to the First Precinct Community Council, it's discussed every month, you know, month after month, but
Max, the problem is, it's a whack-a-mole over there because it's the first and the fifth,
yeah.
depending on what side of
So-
Broadway you're on.
Yeah,
So,
so that's part of the problem, and
Yeah.
so like last month, the council member did meet with the deputy mayor of public safety, Kaz Daughtry, in mid-August specifically about this. And again, and I think as the Canal Street redesign moves forward, we want to make sure that, right, if they're expanding the sidewalks, it has to come with also enforcement of the counterfeit vending, and so we have seen improvements in the past month, like there have been a lot more enforcement operations. Again, but that, it's the whack-a-mole, right, you can. And again, the First Precinct, every week they're confiscating millions of dollars worth of goods, but right, an hour later, they can bring more in. So I think, yeah, we are still working. I was just talking, we were all talking and the elected officials, how we can really escalate this forward. And we're thinking some kind of public action, right, to really bring more attention to this because, yeah, basically everything we've worked, again, we're able to get enforcement for, you know, a couple of weeks and it's good. And then it all comes back. So yeah, but definitely as the canal redesign moves forward, we have to have that conversation with the vending as well.
It'd be terrible to build out sidewalks for sidewalk safety and then have them taken over with another layer.
Yeah, and if you look at this interview, the press, he's been talking about both together to make sure that it stays together.
Awesome. Betty.
Since we're talking about accountants, thinking of that YouTube video, the issue with all of the violence, some of those people towards people going by, and I don't want that forgotten just because of the goods. Focus on the people as well, you know.
And what Betty's referring to is what was shared with leadership was a YouTube video of someone basically walking up and down Broadway from crossing the line between CB1 and 2, between the 1st and 5th precinct, just basically walking that corner up and down and crossing Canal and their experiences with the migrant vendors. And, you know, they were provocative, which is what they were going for, and the cameraman got punched at the end of it. No, they did not call the police, which would have been really helpful, and press charges. They did it because they were looking to promote the concept and things like that. But for us, when we looked at this video, for us, it's about the sidewalks and it's about, you know, illegal vending. So trying to work with our neighbors and partners in CE2 and the 1st and the 5th to get a coalescence, because like I said, it's kind of the running joke about rat mitigation. I'm gonna do my yard, they're gonna go to Jeff's yard, and then Jeff's gonna do his, and they're gonna either come back to me or they're going to Wendy, right? They're just gonna run around the table. And that is what happens with all of the illegal vending is, once the police come by my block, then they go around the corner to this block, and then that block, and eventually end up back in front of my block again. So maybe if there is an infrastructure way, when they improve Canal Street, to make something better for deterrent, that would be good.
Well, I mean, but then people buy it. They wouldn't be there if people weren't buying it, right?
Yeah. Right. That video made that perfectly clear. Does he have the best expression on it? Please repeat that a little louder for the people in the back.
You play stupid games, you win stupid prizes.
So that was pretty good. Anybody else have anything else for Max? With that, thank you very much.
Well, thank you.
Brendan?
Let's go.
He did, okay. Guess what, Zach?
Roll call.
Roll call.
All right.
So the secretary will now be paid by Zach. The timer, if we start going too long, will be done by Christine. She's feeling feisty. We all want to be out of here reasonably. Well, let's be patient. Zach?
In the left corner.
Right? So this is the business session. So can I get a call to adopt the minutes for the July 2025 minutes?
I call for that, or I second it if someone else called it.
Okay, so motion's been made, motion's been seconded. Zach, take it away. Roll call.
Amoruso. Brown Kennedy.
Kennedy votes yes.
Cameron.
Cameron, yes.
Cassell.
Cassell, yes.
Chang. Chapman.
Chapman, yes.
Charkoudian.
Charkoudian, yes.
Cole.
Oh, yes.
Coleman.
Coleman, yes.
Foreman.
Yes.
Curtis.
Which is on, and she's.
Yeah, I'm here. Curtis. I'm sorry, Kuchar,
Sorry.
yes.
Sorry. I need to reset that.
Dimick.
Dimick, yes.
Flores.
Flores, yes.
Friedman.
Friedman, yes.
Galloway.
Galloway, yes.
Goldstein. Goodkind.
Good kind, yes.
Yes.
Goldstein. Thank you, Goldstein. Hernandez.
Hernandez, yes.
James. Joyce.
Joyce, yes.
Kay. Canal. Pell. Lerner. Lewinson. Lyon.
Line, yes.
Meltzer.
Yes.
Minsley.
Minsley, yes.
Moore. Pandaya. Portia Corey.
Yes.
Robinson.
Robinson, yes.
John Scott.
John Scott, yes.
John Scott. Shear.
Sure, yes.
Star.
Star, yes.
Jimmy Sung. Vera Sung.
Here, yes.
Thompson. Who was here? Eric Yu.
Yes.
Zelter.
Seltzer, yes.
Okay. Passes. Let's rock and roll. Let's keep going. District Manager's Report. Zach, right on to you.
Okay.
Can we have the slides up, please?
Okay, first announcement, cobblestone restoration. Good news, Greenwich Street between Lake and Hubert Street. Cobblestone restoration has started. It's gonna take about 10 weeks. As you can see, it's in poor shape. It's something the board has been calling for a while. It's only one block, but it's a bad one and it's a start. So I'm excited that that is finally getting done. Next slide, the Canal Street, street improvement project. It's been talked about a few times. As the borough president said, the board has been advocating for change here. He's been advocating for change. All the electeds have been advocating for change. So
There's this outreach event, tomorrow and one Friday. And there's a survey, I passed it around to all of you by email, but there's address there. And then after they do all of, those public outreaches and surveys, they'll bring that information back to the board, and they'll probably be seeing us in November to, with that information.
And just to note, there, Fridays 11 to 2, we meet at Canal and Walker. So if you can make that, that would be good, because Walker has substantial changes that they're looking at doing. And there you go.
Okay, so, interns, we've had some PACE interns, we've had some, city interns. Now there's some, CUNY interns available. This is an 8-week program. They told us that, they do prioritize organizations that ask for more interns, like a 3 number. So, reaching out to all of you, if you have a special project for, a CUNY intern that you want, to work with the board on, I would ask you to be sort of their lead. But, they have 4 sort of sectors of, specialty, community and social service, STEM and green, healthcare, marketing and communications. And it's only 8 weeks, but you know, you can get something done, with an intern or 2 then. They are paid by CUNY. And the application is due mid-month, October, I think it was the 16th. And then the internship starts in March of next year. So if you have something, reach out to me and I'll get you more information on what's needed.
Guess what we're gonna, see that marketing communications?
Yes.
That's gonna be,
Yes.
that's gonna be what we're gonna use to evaluate, have them look at all the other boards and other elected officials, what kind of communications they use, what can we use to connect more effectively? And figure out our social media and a newsletter. Now, when we have all the mechanics, we just need somebody between now and then who's willing to gather and pump it out. And the reason why somebody said, can't you just use a high school kid? No, because they get access to all of our stuff. So we prefer that it is a board member who is bound by confidentiality rules and COIB, or a paid person. Good. But yeah, other ideas, come on, send them over.
Great.
Rosa will have them.
Okay. Last slide. The New York City Commission on Racial Equity has a meeting tomorrow, public meeting at 2:30, where they'll be talking about their core indicators for the year. So if you have interest in attending that, I sent it around to you all by email, so you can hop on the link there. One more thing to note that I heard that was interesting, on 125th Street, they're probably going to be getting a one of those pay toilets, public bathrooms. I think it's called a ATP, automatic, APT, thank you. APT bathroom. So we haven't seen a new one of those go into installation in a while, and I know this board has been asking for one for quite a long time, and was promised one, and still hasn't been delivered. So that's something I'll be paying attention to and following up and trying to see where those are and where ours is. And
How do you pay?
Yeah.
I don't know how the new ones are. The old ones were, it was a quarter.
Yeah.
I don't know who has quarters anymore.
I do, I have a lot of quarters.
Let's start saving
I
my
fixed my quarters.
I see a business.
Do you remember the one in Madison Square Park?
I don't. It's still-
Yeah, you know, I think there is.
Does anybody
You're
have
right.
any questions for Zach?
No.
Next slide. See, isn't that pretty?
Yeah.
Next slide, please. Okay, it's gorgeous in Lower Manhattan. Let's go back one. I want to say a personal thank you for everybody who turned out for, the 9/11. That is the two photos of the community grouping. And then that beautiful building on the left is 90 Broad, if anybody's been inside. It's a gorgeous building. I was there for a meeting earlier last week. Send us photos if you're up and down. Excellent. Okay, 320 Pearl, thank you, Morton. Yeah, it's still under, but it's good news. The judge did, have a ruling as of today at 5:45. The city has not filed any notice to refile, and the deadline was today. So unless there's something that we don't know, the plaintiffs let me know, the ones who won, that as far as they're concerned, it's kind of dead in the water. The court case versus OCM, so I'm gonna do yin and yang, good and bad. About the proximity rules for the distancing of schools, while the community boards, were cheering the last time we met in July for the fact that OCM finally said, yeah, you guys were all reading the rules right, we got it wrong, and the distancing should be from schools. Oops. A lawsuit was filed from the cannabis stores who were sited next to schools, because OCM said that they could be there for 2 years and then they'd have to move. And so a judge has sided with the applicant, saying that they don't have to move until the court case is done. So don't know how long that'll take, but it's, right now, it's there. We know that this is relevant for CB1 because there's one that opened up right across
Right.
from the Pine Street School and a block away from Spruce Street.
February 10th. It has to be resolved by February with every legislation.
Awesome. Thank you.
I thought she's voting for it. I mean, she wants to allow them to stay.
Well, if she,
The governor, sorry.
I think that's something that we'll have to discuss in committee in October and get an update on what the governor's positioning is, so we know where we want to be. I mean, I know where we want to be.
We want to be,
We've
but
fallen,
whether it's
but-
with her or not.
Yeah, but I mean, we should probably pass this follow-up.
Yeah.
Okay. Charter proposed revisions, you've heard that, so I don't need to go over it. 77 Water, we distributed a letter, everybody should see it, that came, we have a resolution on it as well. Canal Street, we went through, NYPD was at the Battery. Such a major difference, I can't even begin to tell you. For like 2-3 days, it was really spectacular.
Yeah, no, it's not so great.
Now, a lot of them are back, but there are signs other places, and it won't make a difference if the government shuts down, then nobody actually will get to the Statue of Liberty because, National Park Service will not allow Statue of Liberty either to dock there. We're still working on the land use and housing working group. We need some volunteers who may be willing to go knock on doors and help so we can really get the numbers on what kind of affordable housing. If you know anything in your building, please email and send it to Richard and Jill. And they'll take the information, okay? Holiday get together, I was gonna say we need one more and send it to Gabby, but I'm gonna have everybody send it to Pat now. Oh, and Lucy. And again, if you are willing to work with me to do some surveys, let me know. Next. Okay, it's been a long, really long summer and a short summer and a hot one. So here's kind of things that we've been doing. There was a BBJ workshop in August. I'll leave that. We had a meeting about Pier 17. I think everybody has seen the updates. Pier 17 is currently not choosing to do the enclosed rooftop attachment. And that'll be the way that is through the rest of this year or next. We'll see what happens next year. We had a community event for 9/11. We hope to meet with the public advocate who will help us and our electeds to be on site next year as well. I took a tour of the Hamilton Madison Adult Center at 100 Gold. Because it's freaking amazing. I mean, if you have not been there, I would ask all of you to go. When we're talking about 100 Gold and about the RFP and redoing the senior center, some people think, oh, it's a little senior center.
It is.
They serve 500 people a day food. It was so robust. Yes, they are below ground. And while EDC and HUD said, oh, it's so sad that they're below ground, it's gorgeous down there in terms of like, it's a happy place. And it is needed to stay in CB1 based on their outreach for their own community. They, I think, have 3,000 or 5,000 people. I encourage you to reach out if you want. I'll connect you. Tour the facility. It's amazing.
And it's mixed. It's really a crazy wild population.
It really is. Yep. Alice attended the Washington Market ribbon cutting. Thank you to Alice. I was at the Battery Park City Block Party. That's me and Rosalie Lajou, and we honored Jeff. He got a community service award, so it was really a great day.
You're here.
They also honored this lovely lady who was 100 and who was feisty as all get out. She retired to Battery Park City. She left the suburbs to move into CB1, which I think is pretty amazing.
When she was only 80.
Yeah. Exactly. We've been having discussions with SAPO lately about, different concerns that the community has raised around open streets, around, block parties versus not block parties, what that means and how that works, and restaurant dining and what they can and can't do. So that's been an evolving discussion, I wanted to say. And we had yesterday, the East River Working Group now has a new title. It is the Battery to Bridges Coalition. The next meeting is November. If you'd like to come along, the next stop on that train is for bylaws, board members, organization structure, and getting set before the end of the year. And so, as the name implies, it goes from the battery along the waterfront to bridges. Okay. Today we had a BPCA Neighborhood Enhancement Working Group. It was really interesting. I look forward to seeing the updates that they show the public on Monday next week at the Battery Park City Committee. It would be important if you attended the Environmental Protection Committee, you should attend there will be updates on Monday. Not all updates, but some updates, so I think it's an important thing. Excellent. More follow-ups. We're waiting for the BBJ designs. Those lovely images that you see are, when you look at the image on the right, that giant building, that's after all the low buildings that you see, that is the BBJ. They put it there to show us what it would look like in context. Check your calendar for moving dates in October. We move things around because of the holidays, which includes not only the Jewish holidays this week, but Columbus Day and others. Discussions with the BBC and elected officials are happening regarding construction impacts and timing. It's a very warm and friendly discussion, and there's lots of information, hoping that we can engage the larger public. Charter revision. We talked about doing an education panel. Don't know if we're gonna need it pending the lawsuit, we'll find out. An attended joint meeting with CB2 regarding Canal Street. Next slide for the rooftop tour. Javits is thank you to Christine. Javits is offering us a private rooftop tour. And you're thinking, why would I wanna do a rooftop tour at Javits? It's super cool and it's a green roof, partially green roof. They have actually managed to do a building that does not kill birds left, right, and center during migration. So it is really, really an engineering marvel to want to go see. And with all the construction that we have that's going on and the new buildings that are going to be built, I think it's a great education opportunity. You know, the only other things that we had Bob Schneck, who was a huge passive house advocate, and we all supported passive house. This is kind of along those same lines and really understanding what could be built, right? And how things could be, and will help discussions that we have with all the lovely construction projects that are up and coming.
It's also a retrofit, so I had the opportunity last week to see it, for Climate Week, that's my work. And, they, retrofitted all their glass with bird safe glass. So it wasn't actually new, right? They went over and did it. It was spectacular. And this is a private tour. So not everyone gets to do this, and I spoke with the woman and they are willing to do that for us and our partners, so. I hope that you wanna go, it's very important and it's a great example of what can be done.
Email Christine to
Email
go.
me because you have to sign a waiver, I'm not sure, maybe because of the goal.
I don't have your email.
Yeah, right.
It's in your.
I got it.
All right.
I'll send it there.
Zach will send it around again, and it's not only just us, if you have a friend who wants to go, bring a friend. The more people we can get the information out to, the safer we can make environmental friendly buildings. Next slide. Yeah, we're on to exec, okay, and then I can shut up for the night, I love this. All right, so we need to ratify the first 5 items. They were all resolutions that we passed in August that were time sensitive. So we'd like to take it together. It's 150 Duane, Tunnel to Towers, 30 Hudson, 24 Peck, 32 White. Are there any questions on anything there? Because that's going to be a vote by affirmation for ratification. Hearing and seeing none in the room, and assuming everybody's a yes, are there any opposed? Are there any abstentions? Are there any recusals? Hearing and seeing none, all are ratified from August. Thank you very much. Okay, adding public access agreements to the top section of 311. That, we did an exec this month. Does anybody have any questions?
Second.
Great, question has been called, question has been seconded. Vote by affirmation is, are there any opposed? Are there any recused? Are there any abstentions?
Staying to one day.
Francis is abstaining. Okay, awesome. Motion passes. Thank you very much. I don't think I have to go over any of the other things, except I have 2 slides to share. Next slide. If you did not make it to exec, I highly request that you watch, if nothing else, which I understand, this report by Chi. She was our summer graduate intern and created an incredible asset for us, so we can pull all the 311 data only for CV1. And this is important because the district dashboard that used to exist under 311 stopped working in January. I don't know why, I can't answer any of those questions, but we now have a way to run the numbers. Next slide. So we ran the numbers, and in that meeting, she live in the meeting went over stuff. So it's a little fuzzy and I apologize, but this shows you all the complaints for the last 7 years, right? How many complaints we have. Top 1, illegal parking to nobody's surprise. Vendor enforcement, noise, residential noise, homeless, more commercial noise, street conditions, noise, and bulky, like sanitation stuff. The fun thing about this was you can sort it by agency, you can sort it by complaint, you can take a look and see what time the noise complaints came in. Like, is it noisier at one part in the city versus the other time of the day? So it was a really fantastic thing. I will tell you, we saw hot spots for noise in many places, hot spots for homeless. You can probably guess where those hot spots are. The greatest amount is right at the transit hubs.
Yep.
Fulton Street has it, you know, the Fulton Street and along Broadway was the hottest area right up there by City Hall. And then down at the Staten Island Garden. To nobody's surprise, those are the biggest ones. And then there's others that are spread out all over the district. So in every park, in everywhere. So it was really fantastic. There's a ton of illegal parking in Battery Park City. There's a ton of illegal parking around, oh, I don't know, this area, surprise, surprise. Anywhere where there's basically a municipal building, there's reports of people parking cars on sidewalks. It was fascinating. So since I'm not gonna relitigate, I welcome you to all take a look at it. And then if you wanna know anything specific, we have the dashboard. It's not public facing yet. We're waiting to be able to get it public facing. And that's part of the next step, but we're not quite there yet. Not because we don't want to, it's just don't have the technology yet.
Some tech details to work out, and software details.
Is it illegal for, employees of city agencies, firemen, policemen, to park their private vehicles on top of our sidewalks?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh,
Yes, it is.
thank you, I had no idea.
Yes, it is.
I would be actually doing this. Statistic next year.
Jared.
Related topic, something that folks have been talking about a lot, on me is, every walking place that are getting closed out without any type of action or
Yep.
incorrect responses.
I mean, like, we've corrected the situation, you look down there, and the guy still sits there.
Like right there. Can we spend some time in a future meeting on?
I'd love to. My thought was that we might need to boil the data, because they do send you a survey. Right, so I'm one of those nitpicks who fills out the survey afterwards. When they close it, they fill out a survey and say, how satisfied are you? Well, if I look out, the car's still parked and there's no ticket, I'm like, not satisfied, not satisfied, not satisfied. And I think that's kind of where we may have to find it. I'm not sure. I need more of a data person when he comes back, who may know better about how to do that. But yeah, I agree with you. There's a lot of times. Or conversely, if you're reporting somebody who is clearly emotionally disturbed, or that they're sleeping in the middle of 9A, and they don't respond for 7 hours, no wonder the guy's not there, or the woman, or the child, whatever. No wonder. I mean, you responded 7 hours later. So I think that the response time and closing tickets is a question I'm not sure how we get to, but yeah. Jeff?
I just want to point out that the way she set this up is that it automatically updates itself. So this is not just a project to look at
Right.
data that existed as of the time of the project, but she set it up so that we continually have updated data.
Yeah, which we, awesome. All right, anybody else have any questions? Okay, awesome. Next slide. I think I'm done. Yes, Susan Cole, pass it along.
Well, there are no candidates for. I'm sorry to report, I can't beat down the doors. My committee can't ask any more people. Jess was good about it. Everybody's asked somebody, and nobody wants to be secretary. So, and it's only till when? Till January?
June.
June. It's only till June, and we have a new idea. So it's that we can have Google take minutes, and that whoever becomes secretary can correct the minutes and go over them, but doesn't have to take verbatim every word. So it's much easier to be able to take this role on. And the other role is to really take attendance, if I understand correctly, correct?
Well, if everybody signs in,
Yes.
then attendance is self-generating. So when you do roll call, the only thing you have to do is report. You roll back and forth. So if you're the secretary, you share with the assistant secretary, you do roll call. But if you don't want to do roll call because you don't like speaking, I mean, Alice can do roll call, I can do roll call. Anybody around the table, we can get to do roll call. I can make Cody do roll call. He's got a nice, gentle voice.
Thank
you. See, right? So jump in, the water's fine. Right? Somebody nominate yourself, please. If not, I may start nominating people.
So you can text me or whatever. We don't want to be public right this minute, but we do need somebody. And it's not the end of the world, and it's till June, and maybe you'll like it that you want to stay on, who knows?
If we don't get anybody,
You
what's
should-
the backup
Tammy.
plan?
Tammy, what is the backup plan?
The backup plan would be none, because the office can't do it. So the backup plan would be me rotating around.
Everybody would have to do it once,
And everybody else.
and that's what will have to be.
I start. Not a full commitment, but I'll do it for the first month and then see if I can do it more.
Well, Jason, good for you.
Not a full commitment, but I'll stick around if it's necessary.
Second time.
Does it start tonight?
No,
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 okay.
you're on.
Next month, you're on.
But, I mean, I
But
love that
yes,
idea.
thank you.
We can rotate it around.
And if that, and I think in essence, if nobody wants to, that's what we're gonna do. So each of us will take a turn and we'll do it from back. Alphabetical. Yeah.
Mean. That is mean.
Very mean. All the board members' names in the hat,
Yeah.
and letting random draw.
Oh, whatever. Anyway.
So
okay.
you'll
So I
come,
have a question about the Google Minutes. I know Zoom now has an AI thing that will summarize it. Are you talking about something like that?
This is what I heard today from Brendan, that he was gonna let the Google
what
take
is
minutes.
fabulous. It's okay. It's not
Not
fabulous.
great.
And it does transcript, but what you have to have is you have to take, for example, it doesn't know Jeff Galloway. And it may write your name as Geof, Jeff.
Yeah,
You know, it's got odd, translation. So you still have to,
You have to do some work.
you have to do some.
And if then, it can't pull from those conversations.
And the culture, and then,
We'll forget.
Onesh points out the other thing, it can't pull from multiple conversations. So for now, where we're gonna go, for now, is we're gonna rotate among board members. I'm not joking, names are going in a hat.
Fine.
And we'll pull out every month after, next month, in October, Jason's doing it. Then we're gonna pull a name out of a hat, and at the October meeting, you'll know that you're the next month, and that's how we're
I
gonna
think-
rotate.
In some ways, I think it's the fairest.
Nope, slide.
The time.
I mean, I'm not gonna back out of it. I'll do it. We don't need to necessarily do that. Let's get it. I'll do it 3 months or something, and then if something happens, you know.
Bless your
someone might build it.
Netta is here for Patrick. I think. Netta here?
Yeah, Neto,
There you go, you're up.
So this last month at the committee, we had the Department of City Planning present the Manhattan Plan, which is an idea generating process. I'm hoping it's going to end today, I think, end of the day today. So I'm sure everyone has contributed with great ideas on how to improve the housing crisis that we have in our district. The committee brought up some suggestions for DCP and they were receptive to it. Should I go through some of the things?
You've got 3 minutes left. Go for it.
Okay. So, let's see.
6 minutes with no resolution.
So we brought up need for minimum housing. We brought up kind of some sort of addressing the issues of dark units that we have in the district. Family size units instead of kind of miniature mini units that have been offered. Addressing the public life and urban life, addressing the retail that has been emptied. And flexibility of having a mix of retail and resi mix. And resolving some of the vacant lots and stalled construction sites that we see around the district. To see how can they move forward and, you know, go one way or the other, as opposed to sitting empty.
Okay.
And I think that's what we had with the DCD.
Any questions? The Manhattan Plan survey closes tonight. If you haven't filled out the survey, find the email that Zach sent, because they told us that Manhattan Community Board 1 was totally underrepresented.
I should have.
In feedback. So if you find the email, fill in the survey. Okay? I did it. Awesome, love that. Any other questions? Okay, next slide.
I think that's 6 minutes to go.
Yeah, you're up.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Darron Charkoulian, Chair of the Street Fair Committee. And we didn't have an in-person report. We got an email report. So it was on here. And we are on track to raise $24,000 for the end of the year, which is on par with last year. And then the second piece here, update on Holly Market. It is very unlikely that we will have one, at least at the at City Hall Park sidewalk location. So that's the update. We're gonna have our next meeting in 2 months. We're gonna try to have it in November. By then, all the street fair activity will be done, and we'll continue the conversations with Joe, projections, look at projections for next year. Are there any questions or comments? Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you. Next slide. Thanks, Lou. Tricia.
Hello, we had a short meeting this month. Church Street School, who has just had a change in director, we just met the new one, Christina Priscilla, she could not be nicer. And taking over what is a neighborhood institution, I'm so happy that Church Street is doing well. And I guess they went over their programming, if you're a parent here, you probably know most of the things that they offer, but they start at like 6 months of age with children. It's phenomenal. I went there with my kids when they were toddlers. And it goes right through like, adults, older adults. So it's literally all ages. They're beefing up their adult program this year, come high demand. And they are now picking up kids from school, which is major. So that's our big challenge. They have a really vibrant after-school program, but it was really difficult getting the kids from our 5 schools to their programming. And now they offer that. So definitely look into it. Those parents who are interested in having their kids take music classes. And I think that's it for that. And then I just want to say a quick thing about this budget thing that we fill out every year, because we started on that at this meeting. There are things on here that are 10 years old. And I just wanted to, year after year, we see these things come back saying, please contact the agency directly for more information. Agency does not support. I think that if the committees take the time and energy and thoughtfulness to put things together, then I would like a more robust answer from the agencies as to why they're turning things down, like a bus stop in front of the school and, a library on the east side. They can't just say we don't support, sorry, goodbye, take it off. Please remove is another thing I see a lot. So I would like the courtesy of an exchange, I would like to ask for the courtesy and reply from the agencies if we're going to take the time to do this, because it seems like it's becoming a futile act for our committee at least, doing these every year. I'm just going to put that out there.
We did talk about that in exec. And we said that we would reword it. So it could be the same thing, just asked differently, make sure we're capital for capital, expense for expense. And we can go back to the agencies. We can give a list of questions. Lucy and Zach can reach out to the agency before we finish budget and ask why. So if it's wording or it's expense line, to get some guidance.
That would be amazing. And even if they're gonna say no, why do they say no? How long is the no? Like, is this no forever with this administration? Because we really do need a library on the east side. We've needed it for, we have a lot of people over there. And we have 2 on the west side. So I think it's a really good idea to pursue, but not if it's just gonna keep getting the same response.
We have a really nice, beautiful area underneath the Brooklyn Bridge that would be fantastic. Library that, we kind of had designs on, can't that judge. So yeah, let's keep that there.
Sorry, can I just jump on that? So we probably can't do it this year, but after they respond in the next cycle, if there are like a group of them by agency, you can absolutely ask that agency to send a representative and talk about your budget items from your committee. And, between when they respond and between the next cycle, that's plenty of time to have them come and they, I would say 90% of the agencies will come and you can have that direct conversation with. So that's, it's something that I've been thinking about the last few cycles, and I think that's something that, committees should try to take, more advantage of to, drag them in after they respond, especially when they give vague answers like, follow up, like, okay, we're following up, let's talk about it.
Drag in is January to March, January to April, I think. That's what we hear back.
Probably February.
Yeah, we hear back January, February after you
February to June.
Yeah. Okay.
I just wanted to add something to Church Street, because, so Church Street School of Music also started, unbeknownst to me, a Tom Goodkind Scholarship. And to get the scholarship, you have to not only be a brilliant musician, but you must demonstrate true community service here in our community. And the young person who got the first scholarship, as a matter of fact, volunteers at the skate park.
Is that Henry?
Yes.
Oh, I didn't know that Street got that. That's amazing.
Yeah, so it's just another wonderful aspect that it honors Tom, whose community service here at the community board was for many years and deeply, felt.
And it was a great musician.
She didn't say that. That's such an important thing to know. Thanks, Jill.
Okay.
That was nothing's left.
Love that. Yeah, I went on to the next one. Wendy, reset.
So I don't know if there's slides that got put in. as
Did you
well.
choose slides and send them?
I did send them to Zach.
You sent me slides.
I did.
Uh-oh.
Might have missed that.
Take a look at your email, see if we can share
Yeah, I sent you photos from the meeting, but nevertheless.
CC me since I do the PowerPoint.
Okay, very good. So sorry, I'm Wendy. I'm substituting for Alice today, so that's why things are probably getting, a little backwards. We don't have a resolution, so it will be really short. The New York, New Jersey Harbor Tributary Study Update. We had a wonderful person come in, basically from the HATS world, and tell us that there's nothing so there's the whole study that's going all the way up the Hudson. It's a very large study. And the good news is they're still looking at it. The bad news is none of the things they're looking at is actually in CB1. So what they're looking in this environment that's happening on the federal government, which we are all aware of, is anything that's off the shelf, shovel ready, ready to go. Another agency or another area has done all the work and they just have to fund it and get it built. So at least there's something being done for some community, but it's not our community. So that's where that is. And then the next piece of it, which I was really hoping we'd have the slide because that's important, but if not,
back to work on it.
yeah, well, that's okay.
We'll catch up.
So, there's no resolution right now, but the long and the short, and we heard about that, earlier in the day, is there's a lot of construction coming for the west and the north side. We all know that, but I think after the last presentation, we learned that not only, are things gonna close as we knew in phases along that project, but things are gonna happen even earlier as they do testing and, the pre-work to the actual work. So, we have more meetings to come. We're gonna have more discussions. There are a lot of concerns that we have in terms of ADA and access and what's gonna be open, what's the phasing. So I think, watch the meeting, but it's gonna be a big project. It is a 5-year project. It is going to dramatically change people's day-to-day life. We're concerned about of course, noise and impact and dust and debris and, you know, you go through the whole list of things. So, I hope everyone stays in tune. This is coming. It's going to happen.
Minimum 5 years.
Yeah, it's 5 years. And, you know, the boat basin is absolutely all 5 years.
Yep.
And then other pieces of it will be shorter amount of time. Yeah, Stuyvesant High School in front of there is going to be, you know, 5 years. And this is going to impact in, you know, across the street and go behind BMCC and up to Northmore. So it is impacting Tribeca as well because it has to tie in High Point to High Point. That's why it's going in Tribeca. So I don't know, I think I'll stop there because if not, it gets very detailed, but more to come.
I recommend if you interact on a bicycle anywhere between the Battery and Hudson River Park Trust, if you walk across the West Side Highway, if you utilize Battery Park City in any way, shape, or form, I encourage you to have a full breadth and depth by watching the Environmental Protection Committee and then visiting on Monday with Jeff and the team for the Battery Park City presentation. Our goal right now, working with the electeds, is to get a working group similar as we did with perhaps the BBJ. Because the impacts of this are very, 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 very wide. And some impacts will be much longer than just, it's not just the marina that's gonna be 5 years, it's by Stuyvesant and Hudson River Park Trust, that'll be an extended period of time, which then makes a more robust dialogue. Jared?
Comment that's come up before, but yeah, I know it's not come up in any of these, as far as I'm aware. There still is not a good answer to where the split sporting goes north, north pole.
Correct.
Great.
Correct. That is part of what the HAT study was supposed to study north of Northmore. Because currently there is absolutely none. North of Northmore.
Although if you're talking about displaced water, that is addressed in detail in the environmental impact statement. And according to their modeling, it will not cause induced flooding elsewhere.
Yes.
Well, I mean, it's, as I said, it's addressed in concern.
It won't cause, north of Northmore, it won't cause any flooding. Is that what they say?
They're not adding additional flooding.
I mean, it's gonna flood north.
Of course it
because there's
is.
no flood protection there.
There's no flood
But
protection.
it's not, according to their analysis, it's not going to be any worse than if they didn't build this project.
Correct.
But, you know, I mean, you can read the analysis and agree with it or not, but
Okay.
it's addressed with detail.
Jared, the other thing is state DOT
Right.
is reevaluating 9A. And one of the considerations they are trying to figure out for 9A is what, if any, matters of resiliency can they put in when they redesign the usage for 9A? So there's not a glimmer of hope, not a candle of hope. I see flecks of light in my eyeballs, and I'm hoping that they find something to be able to do. So it's not dead.
My other question is, the north part of Battery Park City, where the lawn is, in Sandy, it didn't get more than halfway up the lawn. What is the need for that particular
Well,
section?
the lawn isn't being really altered because the alignment is running along the buildings, which was advocated for by the residents with the last law and other things. So it's not going to be like Wagner. It's not raising the park. The park will flood, the playground will flood, actually, much to my chagrin. I didn't want the playground to flood, but that's an aside. We don't always get
They are
what we want.
rebuilding parts of the
And,
playground.
so, but the alignment runs mainly along the buildings, and which is why this is a very different project in that it will impact, if your window is right along the edge, it will impact you because they have to, extract everything right by your building and, go very far deep down to then build a barrier, basically a bathtub. And then, it's not just the wall on top, it's really what they put below.
Although at the end of Chambers Street, you're already at high ground, so there actually won't be a wall at the end of Chambers Street.
Yeah, they still have to do some construction, but you're exactly.
Yeah, there's gonna be underground
Yeah,
construction.
there's gonna be things, and then there will be flip up gates. I mean, that's what I was gonna say. As soon as you get into it, then it's this detail, this detail. But there will be flip up gates along the West Street and, you know, other places are going to be a lot of flip up gates. And you can see actually in Wagner Park, if you go down there, there are flip up gates by the museum there. And, so, and I will say, anyone who hasn't been down to Wagner, which there's been the wonderful light show and concerts and it really is activated again. So if you haven't had the pleasure to go yet, you should go. And I've been trying to ask a lot of, you know, literally strangers when I'm down there, what do you think of the park? And I asked them, have you ever been here before? Or is this your first time? So, you know, I know this is an aside, but you know, it's one of those things that go and see it if you can. Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
I don't disagree.
I
We
don't
have-
disagree either. Thank you.
And we have to push for,
It's
for
not a
more
choice.
on the left side.
It is a choice. Let's go on.
We're
It is.
we're not gonna argue resiliency tonight at this meeting. Next slide, please.
Not anymore. Were you in charge of it?
No, come on, stop.
That's
Next
me.
slide, please. Paul,
Oh, yes, okay. Our committee got a very detailed update from Hudson River Park Trust on the estuarium. It continues to be updated and it will be updated for the foreseeable future. The estuarium is the legacy of Kathy Drew and the River Project, which started this whole thing in the 1980s. 30,000 students visit yearly, and they have made people aware that there are 85 species of fish in Knotson River, and it just shows everyone how healthy the river really is. By the way, the estuarium is located between piers 25 and 26. The building exterior will be revised, providing better connection for students. Landscaping has also been updated. Additional and larger classrooms will accommodate 30 students at a time. The facility, the building will be 7,000 square feet once complete, and it will contain, which you'll see in some of these slides, exhibit tanks, a micro lab, and a planted roof. Tanks will display both year-round and seasonal species. Project is not yet fully funded and is estimated to cost about, there are the tanks, $35 million once it is completed in a few years. Okay, the second item, we were introduced to a group called Fizz Fest NYC and their annual cultural festival. The festival is now 3 years old and offers musical theater and dance performances. The upcoming 10-day festival, which runs in January of next year, January 8th through the 10th, and will offer guests 5 to 7 events per day. And this year, 2025, that Fizz Fest attracted 1,600 guests. And that's the report.
Does anybody have any questions for Paul? Hearing and seeing none, we are moving on. Thank you very much, Paul. Okay, that puts us to landmarks.
Right.
Jason, take it away.
I think I have two, the lighthouse. I think everybody likes the lighthouse.
Do your slides?
It's one of them. I did say some slides, but where am I? Oh, yeah, let's do the lighthouse first.
Let's do the lighthouse
And then
first.
we'll just have a small discussion about this and get a resolution. So the lighthouse, they restored this top piece already, and they came back to us for a signage program. They're independent from the museum, from HHC or whatever, that Seaport Equities or whatever it's called. And, you know, this seems very like a lighthouse, so we just, they did some study of typology, they know the neighborhood well, they're involved in that painted sign already that's there, and they're really good people, so I think we all thought it was great. So let's just take that, and then I think we need to vote on this other, the other one as a committee, as a bigger committee, so.
And you
Call
can
the
walk-
question.
Yeah, before you do,
Yep.
and you can walk down and see some of it. Some of it's been restored.
Yes.
And it's looking much better. It
And if we
really
approve
makes
this,
a
they'll
difference.
do the rest of it real quickly, and it'll be ready to shine, sounds like, very quickly.
So we're gonna do a vote by affirmation, except for the 4 people who came in late. You will need to vote, whether your vote. So we're gonna vote by what?
I got a question. So that lighthouse, who owns it?
The museum.
Oh, okay.
Museum.
All right.
Seaport.
Does the lighthouse have an official name?
It is officially what I wrote it. Well, what they call it the Titanic Memorial Lighthouse. Mark, you might know it as, it was at the top of the Siemens Church building, which was there before the turn of the century.
And then they moved it in the 70s, when they
Yeah.
turned down the,
It
destroyed the
probably has
Siemens
some
building.
other ancient affiliations, but right now, it's the Seaport Museum that's taking care of it.
Curious.
Desi?
Is that a rendering of what that is? So.
Okay, so what's confusing and not really to their, working well for them is the picture on the left, they've since restored that top part, the copper part, the copper looking part, to be beautiful. You go there today, it looks like the thing on the right. And their choice to superimpose that rendering on that, it just doesn't look as great as
Okay,
it
so
really does.
that.
Yeah, it's going to wrap around. It's gonna wrap around like
The
that.
base.
And say Seaport Museum a couple times and South Street a couple times and.
Placemaking line.
Yeah.
All right.
Second.
I think the question was called, the question was seconded. All are done with their questions. So we're gonna go vote by affirmation. And then I'm gonna take the 4 who walked in, right? Are there any who have walked in who are for the project?
Yes. Chang votes yes.
Lindsay, yes.
Maruso, yeah.
Yes.
Okay, fantastic, thank you. Are there any in opposition? Are there any abstentions or recusal? Motion passes. Thank you very much, and thanks, everybody.
Okay, so 361 Broadway, this is all last night. There were only like 6 or 7 of us there to discuss the project. Some great, preservationist firms and legal firms were before us to, get the point of their application, which I hope is clear in the resolution at least. We didn't come to a resolution actually as a committee, and I think this is important enough of a building that we should just take the temperature of the whole committee, Community Board 1, and then, okay, so, this building is an individual landmark under which now, the rights to transfer development rights has expanded since the
City of yes.
was changed, right? So that's kind of like how this beautiful building looks today. It looked then in the 15 years ago, whatever, when it was developed, Shigoro, this guy put a penthouse on top that's kind of minimally visible, which is somewhat, in preservation, like, it's kind of like not a great thing, but it's already there. It was all approved. People loved it, and it's done. It turns out they have another 25,000 square feet of development rights, which is, about a 7-story building. And, there's this vacant lot across the street that would be a great receiving site. And it sounds like they're in the middle of trying to get a deal done. But to transfer the rights, Landmarks under the zoning resolution writes a favorable report saying that the owner, the people that own this property will forever keep it in first-class condition. In the past, my personal experience with doing these projects was that the buildings that were being rehabilitated, for example, under an earlier kind of resolution 74-711 would get upgraded tremendously, and then they would receive some sort of waiver of a, or a special permit or a bulk thing waiver. And so the community in that case was getting back an otherwise building that may not have to be restored at all on the outside to develop it on the inside. Here, it's hard for me personally to understand the give back to the community for this favorable report. And that's really basically the story there, and I don't want to put my opinion on it to anybody. I want everybody to kind of like ask a question and figure it out. Yeah.
I mean, the adjacent lot is contiguous.
Susan had her hand up first.
No, he painted it. Oh, I don't know.
Well, let's.
No, I mean, where you want to go?
and then-
No, I don't.
and then we'll- yeah, go ahead.
No, go ahead. She's the chair.
So I just want to say something. We discussed this and a lot of us agreed with Jason, but I'm going to give credit to the lawyer who is here for the project, who made a statement which I think has worth, which is that it is not our, within our jurisdiction to deny somebody or a building or a co-op or whatever, a condo, money or which they will get for the transfer of this. We don't know how much. They're gonna come back to us. They told us in a couple of months, or at least a month, about what the project they're proposing. And I think what you have to understand, what bothered us, Jason, was that we didn't see any any benefit for the community, and we don't get the building to look at or understand what's going to happen. And so, you know, we all, those of us on the committee, balked from it. But as the lawyer said, they also have a right, and it is within the law. And so that's why you got what you got here.
One
But I thought I
follow-up
wanted-
statement, and then is that if you even look at the flyer that was published by the city, they allude, even in a picture, to how this zoning resolution can help your local house of worship who has no money left in their kitty and have a deteriorating building, but they have 100,000 square feet to get some money to rebuild their part, you know, their position in the community. Literally a picture of a church and an explanation like that. To me, if that's the spirit of the law, even though exactly how the law is written, then this doesn't exactly fit in with, for me, the spirit of that. Handout for the law. Okay, question.
So the lot, it's contiguous to this building?
No, this zoning resolution allows for a wider radius and even crossing the street.
Well, in general, if this were a different building, even non-historic, that they can do it by right. Now, is this building adhering to the landmark standards?
Wait, if this was not an individual landmark, they could not do this by right.
Oh,
That's right.
If it's not an individual landmark, they could not do this transaction. In any way, there's no vehicle for doing it.
So then why does a landmark building have this ability?
Because it's looked at, for a long time, it's been looked at as not a good trait to have a low-scale historic building that has 100,000 square feet of air rights. It's like, it's not a benefit, right, to the church or the individual land. I keep saying church, it's not necessarily church, but it is a lot of these underbuilt, like, sites like that.
The point was that because it was designated as a landmark, it was viewed as a taking. So.
As a what?
As a taking. And so
Right. Yeah.
this is giving
Sure.
the building owner the
Yeah.
ability to utilize an asset of theirs in a way that they otherwise might be able to, but was not able.
Because it's individually landmarked, they really cannot use their air rights. I mean, they're saving 2,000, they're only selling 25, they have 2,000 left, which I assume is if they needed to do mechanicals and they're, or at something additional. It's not a lot, right? But it allows them to build on another lot, like give it to somebody else who could build bigger and get money for an asset that they can't use.
So I'd be okay with it, because as long as they're adhering to the landmarks, whatever criteria the building has to have.
The maintenance program, yes.
That's okay, because
Yeah.
it's a
It also happened
Justine,
last night.
exactly,
Okay.
Justine and then Brenda.
But, okay, well, yeah, you call it out. You go.
I have
you call it
a
out.
question.
Yes,
So,
you're next, Christine.
thank you. Okay, thank you. If in fact we say yes, that they can give away this 25,000 square feet air rights, what are they gonna build? They're giving it to a specific building, or they can just give it to anybody within this
They
range
give it to
as
a
allowed
certain
by law?
amount of receiving sites, but there's one in mind that they have said is directly across the street. I think I've named it 350 to 360 Broadway, and it's directly across the street to the east of the site.
And there's a desire.
Is that landmarked as well? No, I guess not, if they could,
No,
if it could be
it's
built
not.
up.
Vacant site. Who's next?
They'll have to come
Okay.
back, that building will have to come back and get approval for whatever they decide to do,
Actually,
correct?
that's one of the most important points of this, and that this is just for the letter from Landmarks, and yes, the building will come back, because as a result of the letter, they're gonna take it to city planning and ask for some sort of modification of bulk.
Okay, that makes sense. The new building will ask for that.
It makes sense, as a vehicle, it makes a lot of sense, there's nothing.
This is our first time around the block on this one.
Okay.
Brendan?
He's next.
No, I had my hand up next. Just help me understand. So they want to sell the 25,000 in air rights, likely across the street. They can build as high as they want because they're not landmarked across the street, right? And then.
Well, they have to follow the zoning resolution.
They have zoning.
But also, like, why are we, I guess, why do we have to make all these decisions now without seeing like what it is?
It's just the way it works.
The way the
It's just
law was-
order, and it's not different than the order was before City of Yes. If you were doing something pursuant to 74-711, you would come to our committee first, talk about the preservation purpose and all this stuff, and everyone would hem and haw about we don't understand what you're doing zoning wise, and then they'd come to the zoning committee.
John's next.
You know, I agree with Jason's, feeling about this, but this is what happened with the city of Yes. They have a right to transfer where they didn't have a right to transfer. So they're not talking about the new site that they're gonna get money for to transfer, which they're talking about across the street in a parking lot. It's just a little formality that Landmarks comes to us and says, okay, it's on your table. Now, do you approve what they're doing? And what they're gonna do is make sure that the cast iron on the roof is painted every 7 years, which is whoopee-doo, but that's what they're doing. And so I don't think we have any leeway in this. We can talk about it, we can complain about the city of Yes, but this is one of the tools that they have. They're gonna have a transfer, and there's nothing we can do about it. So what I say is, instead of wasting a lot of time tonight, I say, let's move forward, because this is only for Landmarks. There will be, other meetings about what's gonna be built there. And then there is zoning, it can't be built but only such height. So I would ask to fast forward this a little bit. I understand your feeling, Jason.
Yep.
But we gotta get out of this meeting.
Yes.
And I'm gonna say, can we fast forward this? We
Are you
have
calling a question?
No, better
Motioning to limit debate.
That's fine, and Jeff, go. and
Motion to
let's-
limit debate has been granted.
Yes.
So I would say, basically, shorter than what John just said, but essentially the same thrust. As I understand how this legal structure works, they have the right to transfer their air rights in exchange for an agreement on maintenance of their existing building.
Yes.
If they do that, I don't see what role we can say we don't like the legislation or don't like the law, but I don't think that's the role of the community board to vote down something that's legal, unless we had some doubt about their commitment to maintenance.
Well, Jared brought that up, and just to
Yes,
fast
that's
forward
exactly
this,
right.
I think we've discussed a lot of things that really aren't on the table, but now is our only opportunity to say something like, which came up just now, like, we're concerned about, future guarantees that maybe should be escrowed, or something needs to be done to ensure that. Also, if there's anything about this building, for example, it came up in there, there's apparently vault lights under, I'm a preservationist, so, there's vault lights under you know.
Sidewalk.
We should have them, make them as they were in 18, God knows what, because you'll never have another opportunity to say that. So I'd like to add that, but Jeff's handled, and who else has any other thing?
Jeff,
We're gonna get right.
hold on. I
No,
need to
but
know
you
if
can
that was an amendment.
Yes, can we add that if there's
Yes.
known to be original materials, they be brought back
Hold on.
now?
Who's taking notes?
I
on the
have that
amendment?
one, it's very simple.
He
Okay.
has that.
If there's known to be original materials, they should be brought back to that status now and then saved forever. Okay, next,
3 minutes.
Jared.
Yeah, I mean, the comment last night was about, you know, if there's a mechanism to put some of this, whatever the transaction is aside in trust to ensure that the maintenance actually occurs, because as we
Yes.
saw with Barnett Newman, for example, that developer made all those commitments and there's no teeth to enforce any of it.
Right,
Correct.
so we need, it's like, there is a restrictive deck, but we need some sort of penalty or financial commitment set aside to guarantee.
To guarantee
We're gonna Put
this.
into this resolution to get it into an approval status.
Right, so.
Yes.
Tricia had her hand up first.
Second question, is we're in the middle of this, our co-op. Why are we weighing in on this as a community board? Did I miss something?
There's an action,
Okay.
and it's the discretionary action at city planning that requires this landmarks letter.
Landmark.
And so
Landmark building, and we didn't.
it's not an individual landmark, and you bring up a really good point. You have a building in a district, which is as encumbered as this one landmark, because you yourself have limits to your landmarked building in the district. But that's not what this legislation didn't seek to give you any rights. It really was, you know, developer driven, but does that answer your question? You're not an individual landmark.
It's different because your building is not individually landmarked. You're in the eight.
It's listed. You're not. What's your
Oh,
address?
I see. So that only some buildings are listed?
Yes.
As individual landmarks, like this site is where
Okay.
George Washington was born, and therefore it's an individual landmark.
Motion to limit debate was done.
Right.
The timer is now up. I believe we have to have somebody.
Summarize and do it.
Call the question.
Second.
Okay,
Summarize the resolution.
so summary,
Yeah, we
we'll get rid of a lot of the nonsense that brings us to a point of saying, maybe a line about our feelings about the city of Yes, and then
Yes.
I think we can write that we would back this maintenance program if things put in place to really guarantee that it will be done for the community.
I think complaining about the law weakens the resolution.
Okay, so we won't put that in.
No,
Okay.
but we are gonna put that,
All right.
we are putting in here that anything
Fair
that's
enough.
known to have been original and
Right.
back.
Yes.
And if it's known to be original from 18 whatever, you
Yeah.
know?
Along with the other elements of the maintenance plan that they detailed, because that'll all be part of a restricted document that gets recorded with the deed. So we want to
Yes.
make sure that all
Right.
those things they outlined in their maintenance program are included.
And the sidewalk.
Yes.
Right. And
Can
it's
we
been-
add that an escrow be established?
I
Is
mean,
that something that we legally can
just as an
do?
example, just as an example of the way that people get
We
shackled.
can,
Money is
we
what
can
shackles
add it,
people to
but
places.
I mean, we can say that
Yeah.
there should be something set aside
By the
to
genius is a
guarantee
landmark, the
that
legal
this
genius
work
is there.
gets done.
Right.
and
Council
is
with landmarks
monitored.
can work that out.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's great. They got a nice positive resolution.
So we're doing this by vote by affirmation.
Yeah.
Are there any in opposition?
Of a positive resolution.
All right, seeing and hearing none, are there any abstentions? Meltzer abstains. Are there any recusals? Motion passes.
Okay.
Thank you very
We'll
much.
clean that up.
Yep,
Okay, thank you.
next. Wonder if it's gonna go.
It's me.
There you go, Susan.
All right, so I want you all to look at a few things first, and then we can vote on everything. First of all, I want to do the cannabis, and I want to talk about 52 Duane Street. And I hope you've read it, because we have on the second page, the third whereas and the sixth whereas are very important to us in this resolution, and I just want you to understand it. It's a flower shop facade. And so when you pass by with your little baby, you may decide, I want to go get flowers and I don't want to, didn't realize it's cannabis. And so we were very, the flowers aren't cannabis, but the shop is cannabis. And we wanted to make sure that children wouldn't go, that a parent wouldn't take a 13-year-old in there to go buy flowers, and we wanted them to put up a sign. The other was the aspect of it being, I think, is this the one that, the lack of accessibility, ADA accessibility. We were really concerned about that, and we wanted a plan to that, of that. So those were the two things, but I just always wanted to see when these are very specific, what we were after.
Does anybody have any
Does
questions?
anybody have any comments or want anything? Good, Francis.
Jared, Jared has a question.
Just, the language about no schools on the same road, or within private, are we doing on the same road?
We probably shouldn't have that wording in there.
Okay,
Where is that one? Page
Where
one or
is it?
page two?
Page 1,
where is it, Jared?
2, 3, third grade.
That there are no schools on the same road and are within 500 feet of the building.
Why shouldn't we? Just tell me why. Because they're not.
They're not. We can leave that. It's, I mean, it's directly across from us, basically.
Right, but for consistency, the position to be taken on that something.
Exclusive use is not a thing. That's what Chairman Tremaine told us. Because we argued that the law was wrong for exclusive use because you could open up a cannabis shop at the lobby of Millennium High School then.
Right.
And she categorically represented that that was not true. It did not need to be exclusive use. So that we should take out because this is what OCM told us, without a doubt, that that was irrelevant. So that's good news. And it's are not, it's not just occupied as a school, right? It's just the word exclusive comes out.
Okay.
Well, maybe just 500 feet of a school, if they go on.
Yep, 500 feet of a school, I think is, there you go.
Yeah,
And
and that,
I
anything
think
else?
that one's okay.
Francis?
Francis, what'd you?
Speaking to the, ADA and the security camera,
Security is required by law.
right, no, just a comment in terms of, it just says, in this resolution, it says, they will and they plan. I don't feel comfortable with that. I want to know when. I mean, I want to give them a time limit,
I don't know whether.
Before they open.
Before they open.
but it's not in here.
Okay, no, we'll
I
put it
wanna-
there.
Yeah,
We'll put it in.
I don't want it to be just plan and will,
Okay.
before they open, to be more specific.
Okay,
Got it.
and what about the accessibility?
No, for both
before
of
they
them,
open.
one is will
Before
and
they-
one is
Yeah.
plan.
Yeah,
I
okay.
saw two hands to my right, three hands. So John, I don't
Well,
know.
mine is a
Ushma, sorry, I can't see who's behind Jeff. I just saw a hand waving at me. And then Mark, you'll take the line.
Mine is just a point of clarification. How many of these stores are we allowed in the vicinity? Is there any regular?
No limit.
No limit.
Okay, so we can have as many as, okay, I just want to know.
It's all bush,
Ushma.
whatever.
Is this a flower shop and a cannabis? Like,
Well, it is a flower shop, and it is absolutely that. That is their entree in, that you will see a flower shop. It's off on the side as they drew it. And it is the uniqueness of this cannabis shop. And that's why we wanted the issue of children and all of that, because you'll go by and you may want to plant, I don't know, you'll see a calendra or something you want to buy. And you'll say, oh, I'm here, I'll
get more flowers.
get more flowers, right?
They're on like false advertising. I just came from the South Street Seaport and I scooted past a farm to table cannabis store. Has anyone?
No, I missed that one.
Yes.
Hamlet on South Street, and I just think like all of these stores were like deceptive advertising.
I think that one's illegal.
Yeah, that's
not.
That's not.
So I just,
I think that one.
Next to the pizza place.
It
Well,
was.
All right, no more. Hold on. There's a lot of across the table. Stop across the table. Ushma has the floor. Vera, Morton.
where I live, like there's a noted coffee shop, it's a coffee shop and they sell some flowers in the back. But they don't say they're a flower shop, they say they're a coffee shop, and so maybe you could be able to say like, I'm a cannabis store, and maybe you can get some flowers, like, hit the bomb. You know, I don't really know, so.
Well,
So I have a thing on here that says visible signage.
yes.
No problem.
Indicating that the establishment is a cannabis store as well as an over 21 sign.
Yeah, we have it right in there.
Say flowers, I think is what you're saying, you don't mind, right?
Well, I think if you read it, I don't know how else to word it. That is their entree.
Mark?
Go on, Mark.
Well, that's gonna be the next thing, coffee shops, that's what they call them in Amsterdam. Yeah, coffee shop. So this little shop of horrors here. I just want to be clear. This is an approval unless they meet the conditions. Is that correct? So if you're voting yes, you're voting to approve the license.
Correct.
With the conditions.
Correct.
Okay.
Thank you. Anybody else?
Motion to limit debate.
You could even probably call the question if you wanted.
Hold the question.
Yeah, call the
Fantastic, love this. Okay, this is a vote by affirmation, which pursuant to what Mark said means we're approving the story.
We're just doing this one?
Yeah.
Just this one.
What's this one?
Right.
Are we, wait, we talked about the next ones?
Nope. We only.
Let's do this one by itself.
Okay, are there any in opposition?
I am.
Okay, so last name and vote.
Dimick, no?
You, no.
Okay. Yeah, no.
Order so no.
Okay, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 no's. You got them? Okay, so I'm just gonna go, I'm gonna go this again. It was Dominic, no, you, no, Tanya, no, Amaruso, no, and Chang, no. Great. Are there any abstentions? Brown Kennedy abstains. And are there any Curtis, are you again? You didn't. So. Okay, Curtis and Brown Kennedy are, you're recusing?
Yes.
Oh, Curtis is recusing. Brown Kennedy abstains. I'm going to get flowers from her. Okay, motion passes.
All right, the next one is the Smith Hotel. So I want to explain something. They came to us, when, Monish, 2 days ago?
Aren't you doing, no, aren't you?
Wait, I want to explain it.
Oh, because you're not doing the report on the other cannabis one?
Oh, the other sorry, the other, thank you. The other cannabis one seems to be okay.
They just withdrew their application because they weren't, their location wasn't approved by OCM.
Oh, so we have to do something, they withdrew it, we have to acknowledge that they
Yes,
withdrew their application.
173?
Yes.
So we are voting on that one because we need to be on record that they withdrew and
Correct.
we do not support their, just so they don't pop up somewhere else.
They weren't approved, so.
They withdrew their application, which means we vote it down here. Because what you don't want is the way this works. They could say, well, we notified. They did, but they also withdrew. So this is again, 173 Broadway. Right? They withdrew their application. We're subsequently turning them down because they did not come. All right?
Call the question.
Second.
Fantastic.
Yes.
A vote by affirmation.
Yes.
Are there any in opposition? Are there any abstentions or recusals? Motion passes, they are posted. Okay,
So the next one is 85 West Broadway, the Smith Hotel. So the Smith Hotel, when was it? Yesterday, the day before, Onesh?
came to us that they wanted to, have, dancing, live music, and what else?
DJ.
And DJ on the ground floor, the basement floor and the ground floor, if I'm not
First and
mistaken.
cellar.
First and cellar. And, I personally am loath to this, after we approved it and whatever, to come to us. And we couldn't ask the questions, there are various issues around this hotel and what goes on. But lucky for us, they informed Onesh that if we don't agree with this, if we don't want to discuss the ground floor and the basement of live DJ and whatever, they will withdraw and go with the stipulations they have. So, how do I deal with this?
We don't approve. No, here's the question.
No, that's not true. I don't
They have
approve that act.
Their cellar and ground floor, and their applicant is here, so we can ask. But from the investigation that we did, we don't think there are any windows, right? It's all about interior. And they did check that they would have background music. They want to change it to have live and DJ. And I think the purpose of that is so in case they're gonna sell the bar out or the restaurant out, they could have somebody sitting there playing a guitar or a band or.
Well, we don't know the kind of music they're gonna do, and that's what pisses me off. I don't know any of this stuff. And a DJ is a DJ, and it's in a neighborhood, and there's traffic, and there's all kinds of
And
things.
they're online, so we can ask, which is what I said, because what I said to everybody was, we can't just add it when it was discussed at the meeting. We don't want to get in that trouble again, so we could talk about it here. So I'm gonna go Brendan, Christine, and then if anybody wants to ask the vendor who's online.
I'll just say transparently, like, I'm not a fan of that hotel and owners and all that stuff. But what I will add is that literally a block away, there's Primo's, which is the same situation. It's a hotel, there's a bar, and a food and like DJ essentially, all down there that I don't think I don't know, y'all tell us, like, there hasn't been complaints about. So, well, I'm not a fan of this place. I will say, like, a block away, we have another place that's just like that.
My only concern, and let me just speak, is it's after the fact. I'd like to have information to the larger community when we discuss this. This was
Yes.
not done. Well,
If I may,
I didn't, no, you may not yet.
You have to be recognized by the chair of the meeting. You cannot just speak up, otherwise you get booted down to be an attendee by the staff, so. Patient.
It was not dealt with, and I'd like it to be notified. So if they want to come back, they can. Go on.
Christine.
This is the hotel that's on the corner of Chambers in West Broadway, correct?
Yes.
And they do have windows on the first floor.
But this is on the basement.
I thought it was on the first.
It's both floors, Chris.
Both floors, so
We
it's,
want to do ground and basement.
yes, yeah, so, and there's full, and then they already have a
Outdoor.
significant outdoor seating. It's actually quite far out.
Oh, I know.
walk that
That's why I
block.
say I don't like.
I
it.
walk
Yeah.
that block frequently, and there's also a subway station right there where
Yes.
people have to go down,
Okay.
and it's quite crowded.
So here's a question. They really would like to go to the SLA in October. So we can
Correct.
pass a resolution tonight without the live music, and they can come back to us later,
That's correct.
right? Or we could choose to have a discussion, vote to amend the resolution because it's new information that was not discussed. And talk to the gentleman who's online, who's chomping at the bit. We want to.
No. That's my view. Let them go to the SLA. We pass the resolution we have here, which does not include the first floor and the basement, and they can come back to us around that. We have an approval for them. We've given them the hours. They got all, and we gave them the hours because it was, they had them out at 2 a.m. and all of that.
To be clear, just to be clear, what they're requesting, what they want to add to the resolution is to include DJ and live music
I know.
for private events.
I don't care.
So it sounds.
I'm sorry, I take this very personally. Chair, can we all just go along with her recommendation, please?
Well, so the funny thing is the chair of the committee and the chair of the board had different opinions, which is why we brought it to the group.
She's the one who's in charge of this committee.
Right, but that's why we brought it to the group for a larger
May
discussion.
I just correct, a basement is not the same as a cellar, okay? Basement has 50% of their windows above grade and could be used as a habitable rentable space. So if you have no windows above, it's a cellar.
It's a cellar and first floor.
Cellar and first. Thank you.
Thank you for the clarification.
When we talk about a DJ, are we talking about DJ playing club music, like?
No one knows. No one knows. No. And I don't want to have the discussion.
I feel like the cracker commercial.
I want.
Mark and Caruso, you're next.
It's a private event till it's not.
Mark.
Can you just state that the DJ, that they will not be DJ or live music? I don't think it says that, it just says that they have background.
Well, that's all. Background music, they would have to come back to us for DJ or
Well, I
whatever.
think that's
It's a little ambiguous.
I can add
I
it.
think it should be a
We
little.
can add it. I'm perfectly happy to add it.
So we're adding the, Madam Chair, the raffle cake will not.
At this time. I have to say, let me, because I want to be fair, even though, I'm hostile. I want to be fair. And but it's in the stipulation, is it not, Onej?
I'm sorry.
It's in the stipulation that they have background music. I think
Andrew,
whatever.
but gives his hand up back there. You're last, Andrew.
What specific clarification are we thinking about? DJ live music for private events?
I would want to know how many private events. I would want to know, is it really private events? Because it's not a club, it's not a club, it's a public place. I don't know whether they have buyouts. There are lots of things we don't know around it, Andrew. And I don't want to have the discussion here tonight. I want them to come back because they added it all of a sudden. And I don't like that.
And Andrew, the other end of the day is because there are windows on the ground floor and they have outdoor seating.
Yes.
That if they come back to committee, they can come back and say, yes, we're gonna do X number of buyouts. Yes, we will agree to not have the windows open at any point that there's a buyout and live music inside, like those kind of things that Susan is looking to do in committee. It's a little bit more.
Don't limit DJ and live
All right.
music to private event, just to.
He's online, which is why I was gonna give him the answer.
Since they changed their request, then I would agree, go back to committee, yeah.
So we want to be business friendly. We don't want to decline them entirely. We don't want to table this resolution. They can be approved to get their liquor license and move forward and come
As
back
submitted originally.
as presented to the public in committee and then come back.
That's also what.
Okay. All right, so, thank you. All right, just as a reminder, as chair, I actually can't call the question, which is why I keep staring at both. Thank you. All right, so it's a vote by affirmation to pass the resolution as is with a clarification that a note in here that they will come back to discuss it with committee about buyouts, windows, and live music.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Great.
The no DJ.
Right.
No.
Yeah.
All right, so are there any
Yeah.
opposition? Are there any recusals? And there are no abstentions. Motion passes, sir. You have your liquor license. Or send this up to the SLA for you.
Tammy.
Yes.
Seltzer.
Zelter abstains. Sorry. Okay.
Okay, the last one is 48 Wall Street. So Francis has some questions on it. I just want you to all, and then we can vote all the rest. 48 Wall Street has been operating all this time for special events. We found out a number of things. It's been an issue for us for a long time. But they came to us, the landlord is, played one group against another. we had approved a kind of Cirque du Soleil for this place, which many of us thought wasn't gonna happen. And I think it was the landlord playing with the applicant. So we got this person has been there for the last 10 or whatever years. They've worked out a deal with Cipriani where they are the spillover for Cipriani as well, because we wanted to know about traffic and all kinds of things. So Frances has some concerns that she wants to add in, and otherwise we did approve it. But I just wanted to remind you all, I'd like you to be aware of it.
Well, as written, they approved it, but in the 10th whereas, where they talk about having the agreement with Cipriani's, I would like to see more information in terms of, when are they gonna have scheduled events so that we can notify the community?
Meaning joint events.
No, who's on first and who's on second? When,
We don't get that information from Cipriani now.
but since they're collaborating with this other venue, I think we could ask. Because they're saying that we want to balance it out. We want to make sure they do that and that they don't run into each other on the same night.
Frances and I don't agree clearly.
We can ask, they certainly don't need to tell us, but I mean, I think the nice thing would be to know for the public if, you know, you've got, especially for traffic pursuant to what Francis is saying. So you don't have 700 people going from point A to point B, without closing the road.
And then the other is that we talked about, they come out, they smoke all around the subway. And they showed us where, and there is a place where people can stand and whatever. I'd like it posted in some way.
And I'd like it monitored.
They did say they would monitor.
They did say they would.
Because we did point out all the new residential and everything else. They understood that the neighborhood had changed. They will monitor and post and deal for smoking. So yes.
Let's make sure it's in that it's
Okay,
amendment to the
you've
resolution.
got that, Ramesh?
Okay.
Yeah, and then we would request from the applicant that on the days that they are coordinating, that they send us some kind of schedule so we know when both sides of the street may be busy.
Yes.
Even, for Cipriani's and their events?
On the days that they do joint events.
It says that they wouldn't, that they do staggered events. It doesn't say.
Well, but what they told us.
Right, on the days that they both have events, or you have 1,000 people on one side of the street and 500 people on the other, that they would let us know, right? And they also said that they would be partnering, so some days, like if it's an event that's very large, they may do cocktails over in this venue and then walk across the street for.
Brendan.
They do that now. I've been to galas.
So that's the whole point. They've been doing it, but the traffic and whatever is at times
It is,
terrible.
yeah, but I get to walk home, so.
Yeah, I do, yeah. I know.
All right, call the
Okay.
question.
Second.
Call the question. Fantastic, vote by affirmation. Are there any in opposition? None opposed. Are there any abstentions or recusals? Chair abstains. Okay.
And then.
Make sure if you're online, your cameras are on to vote.
Okay, no, we don't have to discuss it.
Laura and
We
Paul.
then have, only the the seaport, all the licenses for the ferry boats.
And we have two more. Two more.
There are two more.
And 45, and there's yeah, all the seaport ones could go as one fell swoop.
Yeah.
Okay?
Nobody's here on this.
20, so does anybody have any questions for any of them?
I do. I have a question. I want to know.
She wasn't at the meeting.
The outdoor seating, because everybody, that's where the guests used to be.
Which
So
one?
when they say,
Which one?
2125.
2125 Vault had a detailed explanation of their outdoor seating. It is not free outdoor seating, it is the paid outdoor seating.
Is it on the cobblestone? It's on the cobblestone?
It's right up against their restaurant.
Yeah, see, then that's a problem.
There will be a clear path. There'll be a clear path. There is a path around the lighthouse. They're not on the on that side of the building. They're only on the interior side. There are diagrams online.
It's still.
Yeah, I know.
If you
But
want to
it's
come and
fine.
see the diagram, I'll show it to you.
And they're a good group. They may bring some life to the seaport. So can we take them all together?
Call the question. Call the question.
Second, I
Okay,
call
Rick,
it.
second.
Second.
All right, so it's been called, it's been seconded, it's a vote by affirmation. Are there any no's? Francis, which ones are you abstaining from?
The last one,
21, 25.
I know my people. All right, are there any recusals? All right, all the motions passed, thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right, the next committee, rocking and rolling, let's go.
I think that's me. Yes. I will be very brief. As you can see from the slide that has the agenda, we had a number of things on the agenda, and I urge you to watch the YouTube to hear about all of them. I will mention one of them, which is the Wagner Park Pavilion report. There's a presentation by Battery Park City Authority about the vendor chosen to operate the restaurant in Wagner Park. And the vendor's principal appeared at the meeting remotely as well. His name is Daniel Dorano. He's a Battery Park City resident. His kids go to school. He is 276 right across the street from the park. He is teamed with Jacqueline Tanney, both of whom are very well-known restaurateurs. Others of their operations are Migrant Kitchen, Casa de Masa, Dumpling Depot. One of the reasons he appeared remotely is that he was at the US Open at that time where he ran the food concessions or some of the food concessions there. They already have a food kiosk that has opened. It hadn't opened as of then, but it's open now in the park. The restaurant itself won't open until next summer. A lot of work needs to be done. It looks like it'll be an exciting addition to the community. The other thing I want to talk about is what's going to happen at the next meeting. Tammy alluded to it. There will be two important presentations by the authority next Monday at our committee meeting. One of them will be what they call the neighborhood enhancements, streetscape enhancements, about half of which relate to the resiliency project, such as signage and detours and those kinds of things. The other half relate to general changes in response to comments primarily from Betty's committee, but also from our committee regarding problem intersections and things like that, that they have plans for improvements on, as well as plans for improvements on lighting along the pedestrian path along West Street. The other presentation next week will be about dog runs. There's a rehabilitation or upgrade project ongoing. So I urge you, if you are interested in the streetscape of Battery Park City, as well as some of the mitigation measures for a construction project, please come to the meeting. Similarly, if you use the dog runs at all, please come to the meeting, and I will see you Monday.
Great, thank you.
All right, Jeff, thank you very much. Before Betty is, which is our last committee of the night, Betty, where are you? Can you guys make room for Betty over by Jess? I'm gonna give a plug. We have two things after Betty. One is a new business report, but this is fun stuff. This is extended till October 5th. This is a pop-up in the Seaport about the 5i Seaport Master Plan. Oh, please go. Before you go, please look at our resolutions.
Yes.
If you have questions, please talk to anybody who's been, integrally involved for more questions. This isn't funded, but it is funded enough to complete going forward in design, to get enough to be able to file for an environmental impact statement on the design with the Army Corps. Which means at the end, the line, the orange line that is in here, that is the resiliency line, would be set with no change. Please look at the resolutions, because there's a lot of resolution changes that were asked and passed by the board. If you need an update, we can send it to you, but make sure you look at the resolutions before you go and visit. But please go and visit, and I left flyers in the back anytime until October 5th. And it's open Monday through Friday, 3 to 7, and Saturdays and Sunday, 1 to 7. And it's a great pop-up over in Shimmerhorn Road. Okay, Betty.
And they have free food too.
I don't,
So they have bagels, they had like pop-up bagels, they had snacks.
I don't know if that's always true. I don't know if that was not true for the first day.
I think that might have been the first day, because I was there yesterday. and
They didn't have any.
Yeah, no,
Betty, take it away. You are our last.
Slides.
A niche.
Go ahead.
Go to the next one. Okay. First, we had the Brooklyn Bridge. If you go back, please, and stop. Thank you. This picture still looks familiar to me. They came to us, the DOT, a year ago, September, bringing forward a proposal. What you're going to see is, yes, this is the same proposal that we wrote resolution for a year ago. Some of the things that we, CD1, was concerned about, one of them was about moving the press parking over to Chambers Street. The other one was, we're down by City Hall Park, the intersection, the crosswalk there, some of the conflicts that there were. So this specifically addressed those two concerns. It made some modifications to this plan, which dates back to a year ago. You go to the next slide, there are going to be two resolutions. Nevertheless, I'm going to start with this one to remind you what it says. But it is a quick fix. Nothing permanent here, and they are addressing the two issues we brought up in the previous resolution. But it's not perfect. So the second one is for the capital. Brendan, do you want to take it as two votes, or do you want them together?
We have two votes.
You want them as two votes?
Or, I mean, it's up to you.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
Okay.
because we'll roll call the last one.
Okay, and you'll see that therefore get resolved on the next slide, but let's vote.
Okay, so this is for, any questions on the Brooklyn Bridge bike lane improvement?
I already see one resolution here.
No, there's two.
Oh, you're talking about,
I think it's the first, we're talking about the.
oh,
While Mark's reading, Eric?
yeah, so, so a couple of things on this, what, they're gonna remove the left-hand turn to go on Chambers Street?
The bridge. To go onto the bridge.
To the bridge, not to Chambers. Coming over when you come over the bridge,
Yeah,
if you're coming into Manhattan,
right,
there's no changes on that side that comes on to there. What they're changing is if you came down Chambers Street, you took the right turn, they're getting rid of the supposedly placard parking that's supposed to be there, the press parking that's there.
yes.
And the left-hand turn that goes on to the bridge is getting squeezed out for the bike lane so that the bicycle riders are no longer in the pedestrian middle plaza. And they will have their, you will still have the lane, they're getting rid of the placards car, so you still have a turn lane and you still have a lane.
I mean, it's hard enough to get from, when you're going down Chambers Street, to squeeze into that, one lane, it just, I mean.
No, actually, there's only one lane.
Can I please finish? Can I please finish without interruption?
She may have it better than
But I
I
can
do.
finish from speaking.
Well, you're supposed to go to the committee, okay? It's very late. Please understand.
It's one
why.
lane going into one lane, so there is no real backup, and the back.
Can I please, no,
Let Mark finish.
I mean,
It's not a real change, Mark. You
then why do we have a full board meeting if we don't have?
Okay,
Please explain to her.
back up.
Why
No,
not?
Mark, what is your question?
So, again,
Yes.
does anyone really truly believe that the placard park, that we know placard parking on that area?
Yes.
Yes.
They placard park all the place. We've been complaining about this for 30 years.
But they're moving all the signs and it's press parking, they won't be allowed there, and they're being given an alternate spot. So yes, I do believe it will be different.
They're being moved to
And
Chambers.
it's hard enough to squeeze in there anyway. From coming south of.
True, because press is there, it should be exactly the same as it is, it should be no change. And it gets the bikes off of the pedestrians.
So, and, you know, and I don't think it's.
Any other questions, Mark?
I don't think this language, everything's like a major success, it just makes traffic worse, not a major success.
Well,
Why is this
point
language in here, like, what is this, a glowing,
Do you have a recommendation on changing?
Transportation?
Are you making, criticisms are great, but do you have a suggestion on language?
Yeah, I mean, this glorified language shouldn't be in there, just talk about this.
What is your suggestion?
A suggestion, Mark, what words are you objecting to and what changes are you making?
All right.
I'll give you a minute to think about it so we can answer Eric's question. So think.
You wanna do that?
I'm on the committee. I voted against this because this is an important intersection, especially, this feeds into the bridge. And it'll only be one lane, to go onto the bridge or to go south on Park Road. I think this is very important. The DOT, when they do these improvements for bike lanes and pedestrians, they've lost focus on what their purpose is. They just, all they do is eliminate lanes and they reduce capacity. I don't think, I think this location is too important to have to eliminate the turning lane. So there'll only be one lane, heading south. And there'll be more traffic backed up on Chambers.
There's only
as well.
one lane now heading south.
Yeah.
No, but there's a turning lane and then one goes south.
Yeah, there's two lanes that's at the entrance.
It does split. Okay,
Lane.
point noted for what you've said. I will say I'm personally excited to have the bicyclists off of the pedestrian path. That's all I care about, having one small space that carves back for pedestrians. That's just my personal opinion, and I do drive, and I used to ride a bike a lot. I just am tired of getting like almost split by one. Our bicyclists go there. No, I'm kidding.
On the pedestrian.
And then I'm coming back to you, Marty.
Brooklyn Bridge pedestrian pathway, there are upwards of 30,000 people, human beings, who cross that bridge daily. They all squeeze into this tiny little spot to cross to go to City Hall Park. So when you mix that with 6,000 or 7,000 cyclists daily, it's like, it's a recipe for chaos. And so that's why, this is such an important temporary fix. I mean, that's another thing to keep in mind. Just talk about.
No such thing as temporary.
Mark, I'm coming back to you when we're done, so make sure you've written all your notes. Anybody else? Mark,
So I
looking
think-
at, oh, wait, sorry. I'd say you're last, so we go through the language. Rosa,
So I just want to agree with Cody, and I also want to agree with you, because I have gotten almost run over many, many times. When you think about the pure volume of the number of people that are going back and forth across these streets in this intersection, that far outnumbers the number of vehicles that are utilizing that space. And it is crazy dangerous, especially when you consider that there's so little space to cross and go back and forth amongst this area, that you can't safely do it. This is actually a safety issue for both pedestrians and cyclists, and I don't know that it's a safety issue, it's a convenience issue for cars.
thank you, point noted. Brendan,
Just want to make a quick call out for clarity, which is we have what we're voting on now, which is the Brooklyn changes that we were showing. But then the other vote is actually for the capital project, which when they referring to temporary, this is what they can do right now. The capital project is asking for them to do more and to actually make it like pedestrian friendly, bike friendly, vehicular friendly. So just keep that in mind in terms of like what you're voting for and why now.
oh, and this is about the temporary one, that's right. Christine, you're the last comment.
I'm done.
You're done.
Justine.
Mark. Oh, Justine, I'm
So
sorry, I
just
didn't
have
see your.
That's okay. I have a quick thing. Number one, I was going to say what Brendan said, so that's good. And then second is on page 2 of 3, the word second is spelled wrong. So if you look down, it's the second whereas from the bottom. That's all.
I'll find it. Okay. Mark,
So, I think, clearly, clear note of what Brent said about.
keep in mind, you can't, keep in mind, you're giving me
Wait.
language, so you're gonna have to call out the whereas.
But Mark, go slower and speak louder because I can't hear you.
There's literally, 2 lanes are being changed into one.
Language.
Right, that, with these changes, currently at the foot of the entrance to the bridge, There are 2 left turning lanes, will now become 1.
No, there's one left
That's
turning
what it
lane.
says, from 2 to 1, remember, moving on back.
2 to 1. Yeah,
So it's changing from 2 lanes to 1.
yeah.
So how's that not gonna cause more congestion?
Mark, you are free to vote against it if you want. The
Yeah.
committee voted for it, 5 in favor, 1 opposed, and 2
In
abstained.
this language, it says largely proven to be a major success based on what? I mean, that's just an opinion.
So you have to give us,
You know,
so yeah, ask
that
them to
be-
remove
that
it.
dictate language.
Mark,
Yeah.
what reso, what whereas?
Second whereas in the first sentence.
And then you go back to look at the.
But the bike lane has proved to be a major success on the Brooklyn Bridge.
I mean, that's
Based
just.
on,
that's an opinion.
based on the number of people.
It is a success, absolutely.
I think it's a disaster, but.
Okay,
what-
vote no.
Mark,
Call the question.
stop. No, we're going, Mark,
It's an opinion, it's not a fact.
Mark,
No.
I am sorry, but based on statistics that the DOT has provided for safety for riders, right? And the number and increase in riders across the Brooklyn Bridge, the bike lane has been a success. So whether we like it or not, if you don't use it, that's up to you. But it is actually statistically a success. So I'm not gonna say that we can take that out because we don't have bicycle riders going, God damn, I don't like having a safe way to cross the bridge. It has provided a safe way for people who do not drive and do not walk to cross that bridge. So let's look at other, Morton, I need you to put your hand down so I can see Mark, thank you. Let's go through, is there other language that you're looking to? We're not gonna argue with you on if you've got a superlative.
It's a fait accompli. I mean, the bias against cars in this committee is astounding, so it's just a.
Mark, then feel free, stop. If you go through whatever other language you have, if you don't like it, you can absolutely vote
It's
against it.
exercise in futility.
That is your
Second.
choice.
Call the question, second.
It was called, could I be?
Can we just?
No more questions, no more comments. Mark was the last. Ready?
The fourth whereas is missing.
1, 2, 3, 4 is missing a sentence.
It's missing something, removing something.
DOT is removing,
There's no page 2 of 3.
page 2 of 3 is missing.
The whole page is done. That is.
Okay, so that's what I'm saying. Let's, can I find page 2 of 3?
I need a clarification. When you
Yes, ma'am.
started some time ago, like several months ago for this year, you gave every committee, what, 6 minutes? And then you don't adhere
No,
to
6
them.
minutes is when you're running reports. This is a resolution, and we have not had anyone say motion to limit debate. We're done debating, but what somebody asked for with the question called and the question seconded is we're missing a page in this documentation. So, does anybody need to see page 2 unless they didn't see it online? I saw it online.
It's online.
Okay.
It's on.
Okay, so
Online.
if you have not seen page 2 online, because it was distributed in advance of the meeting, because we asked you guys to all take a look at it, please feel free to abstain. The motion was made, the motion was seconded, we've gone over, we don't have any further changes from Mr. Amoruso for the language. All right, who is opposed? Okay, around the room, this way.
Oh, you opposes.
Sure.
Russo opposed.
Is there anyone online who opposes? Fantastic. Are there any abstentions? Brown Kennedy abstains. Are there any other abstentions in the room? Meltzer abstains. Are there any recusals? No, because nobody works for DOT. Fantastic. Off we go. The last one will be roll call. This is about the capital changes. Betty, take it away.
That is the point, this, a lot of the changes that people have been asking, require the movement of sidewalks, require the movement of getting rid of concrete. This is simply, the DOT has already put forward, realizing that they need to do that for the ultimate in pedestrian safety and bicyclist safety. So this is just supporting something put forward saying, yes, we would like it.
You supported it?
Yes.
Okay, we'll go with.
They're just being paint, they'll be.
Okay, go ahead.
So I have one comment to make, because my only concern, although I do believe we need to have serious change in here, is I think we have to also protect City Hall Park. Because some of the changes that we're talking about involve substantial material changes to City Hall Park, which goes all the way, we discovered, to the sidewalk.
Correct.
So on the far side, right, so on the other side of the street from where our building is, where City Hall Park ends is actually at the curb line. Much like in Battery Park, it ends at the curb, which we didn't know in committee, but we did find out since that point in our discussions about food carts. And whether they're permitted for that space, we learned that the City Hall Park goes to the curb line. So I think there needs to be one note in here that says consideration for character of City Hall Park and the park land. Just consideration. That's it. It shouldn't, to me, it shouldn't stand in the way of pedestrian safety.
Okay, great, we'll take it.
Yes, no, so there is no DOT plan, so they would have to come forth for anything. This is simply saying we support the seeking funding, that you can do the research to figure out what changes you could make. That's all this is about.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, so what I'm putting in here
Second,
is,
we're.
well, no, Mark. I love you, Vicky, but I'm running the meeting, I'm taking the notes, okay? And
Mark
has-
showed up an hour ago.
Stop.
So you should have pointed that out, and then he shows up late in the day, and then he has a
I'm
conversation.
asking you, please, we're close to the finish line. We're close to the finish line, let's keep it under control.
This cannot continue.
Mark, I got my gavel. Recognize, let's go.
Once again, I want to point out that there's nothing in the resolution that talks about making improvements to vehicles. It's always against vehicles, not to mention that bicycles are dangerous to pedestrians.
It says all modes of transportation, excuse me.
Mark, it does say all modes of
I saw
transportation.
that, it says all modes.
All modes, according to DOT, include everybody. So, Morton, you are recognized.
As someone who uses the Brooklyn Bridge and crosses it by bike, this intersection of the pedestrian and the bicycles and the vehicles crossing over Center Street, either towards the Brooklyn Bridge or coming back off the Brooklyn Bridge, is dangerous and it needs to be improved. And that one specific area where you have vehicles, bikes, and pedestrians all merging, and it really needs to be improved. And it's not about limiting vehicles, it's not about promoting bikes over vehicles, it's about safety, because you have three different modes: people on foot, people on bicycles, and vehicles all converging in one area, and it needs to be.
Understand that, but.
All right, stop. Mark, you are recognized, it is not your turn. Betty.
One of the big impetus for the capital project too was if they're gonna take on Center Street with Chambers Street intersection, they must have a capital improvement project.
That's right.
Call the question.
Second.
Okay, fantastic. We are roll calling this.
Wait, I got a question. This is about the resolution. It's not a debate. Your suggestion about adding language, was that accepted by the chair?
Yeah, because it's about a capital project and all it's noting is that there's consideration for the boundaries of City Hall Park.
We would reach that when they have their project. It's premature to put, unless the chair and.
It's not DOT property, which is why it's relevant to mention. It's parkland park property, but the capital project will have to encompass all of it. It's like an agency thing, you know, it's calling out just like, hello, you don't own.
And the chair was okay with that, or?
Yeah, yes.
It's okay.
As they start looking for their project and stuff. you
Yes.
have to Think about it.
Yes.
That's one.
All right.
All right.
Amarissa? Brown Kennedy. Cameron?
Cameron, yes.
Cassell?
Cassell, yes.
Chang?
Yes.
Chapman?
Yes.
Charkoudian?
Yes.
Poe?
Yes.
Coleman?
Yes.
Corman?
Yeah.
Puccia?
Chair, yes.
Paul and Lori, you need to come off, or come on screen.
Yeah, I see Paul. Laura, you gotta be on camera.
Curtis,
yes.
Dimick,
Dimick, yes.
Flores,
Flores, yes.
Friedman,
Friedman, yes.
Galloway,
Galloway, yes.
Goldstein,
Goldstein, yes.
Goodkind,
Good kind, yes.
Hernandez,
Yeah.
James, no, she's not here.
Nope.
Sorry. Joyce,
Joyce, yes.
Kay,
Yes.
Lewinson, Lyon,
Line, yes.
Meltzer,
Yes.
Mensley,
Enthusiastic, yes.
Anya,
Yes.
Porchakori,
Or yes.
and Robinson,
Robinson.
John Scott,
John Scott, yes.
Shear, Star,
Star, yes.
Camera, Laura.
My camera's
Pearson?
on. Wait, you don't see me?
Yes.
we don't see you.
No.
Really? But it says my
Mostly
camera's
yes.
on. I'm sorry.
You?
I see myself. You guys don't see me?
We don't see
Nope.
you, Laura.
Okay, well,
Well,
I don't know what to
motion
do because my
New
camera's
business?
on.
All right, new business, and, I will tell you that October's gonna be super robust in many committees, including quality of life.
Okay.
So let's make sure that, you take a look and attend the meetings that you're interested in, because there'll be a lot of stuff that comes in October. Remember, this is Q4 of the last quarter of this administration. Keep your eyes peeled, people. Susan has last words.
No, I only was to say, we're gonna postpone new business. Could we postpone it?
We'd be happy to.
How about it? Since I don't know. Okay.
Okay, so do I have a motion to adjourn?
Wow.
Motion to adjourn and seconded, yes? I'm loving it.
You don't even love her.
Yeah.